If you've ever had great vibes going into a CPI report, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. And market gods, please don't ruin the vibes. Okay, please don't ruin the vibes here today. Let's have a risk on day. Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. We've made it to Wednesday, which means a couple of things this week. Yep, we're going to have Tim Melvin on, and he should come out firing. We're also going to have Adam Mesh on, so those of you that took advantage of Fermi, perhaps get your thank yous in order, as Adam Mesh will be joining us. Might even ask 13 about Fermi as well, and kind of get an update on that story from where we're at. But all of that is going to be secondary to the CPI report that we are expecting in 30 minutes from now. We'll, of course, bring that to you. That print may determine how the market trades here today. That's going to be our biggest event, no doubt. We did have NBIS report earnings here this morning. That was already up on the back of CoreWeave's report, which is smoking on the top line. But is it smoking good or bad on the bottom line? We'll actually take a look at that report as well. Should be a loaded hump day here for you today on Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Which reminds me, Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Wednesday edition for August 12th, 2026, starts right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I know I did, watching the Cubs win another one and move to a season's best 20 games above 500. So that was really good. Then I got a bunch of good rest and I am ready for today. So again, fingers crossed that we get a risk-on environment from the CPI report today. We'll bring that to you as soon as it comes out. But in the meantime, let's welcome everyone back for our hump day session here today. We're going to start with the early bird solitary soldier, who is first here again this morning. Good morning, Derek. Good morning. Welcome back. It's great to see you. As always, Crispy Biscuit, good morning. Welcome back. I could use a crispy biscuit today. although I'm still in my fast from yesterday, so maybe not. Maybe around lunchtime. We'll see. Peter, good morning. Welcome back. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Pot G, happy Wednesday, Ryan, and to the Benzi gang, and a wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, Pot G. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Zach McCracken is back. Good morning to the Benzi gang. Are there any XRP experts around? It's currently at 1. So that's going to be Ripple. That's your Bitcoin. If there's any Ripple Bitcoin fanatics, bulls, or experts in the chat, let Zach know. I'm pretty sure Lion masqueraded as one when he was screaming at me to buy XRP. I think it was near 2 at the time. But that was before Bitcoin had its really big pullback. So maybe you should ask Lion when he shows up here, Zach. But the call goes out to the rest of the group. Anyone with some information, let's help our chat member out. Robert, good morning. Welcome back. Jay Wild, good morning. Welcome back. Christoph, good morning. Welcome back. Well, good afternoon to you. Harlugo, the best bionic trader, right? You know, it's funny, Harlugo. I have not made a trade since last Tuesday. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care. I really don't care. The fact that I've got a system set up to kind of do this stuff rules-based and automatic. Bionic trader, bring it on. That'll work for me. As long as the arrows stay in the green section of the ledger, man, I don't care. That'll be good stuff. Producer, thanks for all you do. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Cynthia, good morning. Welcome back. Dara, good morning. Welcome back. Master Chief, good morning. Welcome back. Big earnings from CoreWeave. Yeah, they are, at least on the top line there. And again, reaction here is nice today, but we're going to dive into that report here in a little bit. Bernhard, good morning. Welcome back. Richard Judge, good morning. Welcome back. Linda, good morning. Welcome back. Jim, good morning. Whisk, good morning. Just passing through, good morning. Dara's asking, you happy with Velo, Ryan? As a matter of fact, I am. You know, the other thing is that when that thing was getting pounded and it entered an 8 handle, I was like, oh man, this sucks. Like I don't want to tie up more capital or a whole lot. I'll just add a little bit to this. Well, that looked pretty good. That, high 8s add. We're in what, 16 handle here today, 1640. That report did look good. We can talk about that one too. We talked a little bit about it on Happy Hour yesterday, but I will take it, no doubt. Duddy, good morning. Welcome back. HP Darkside Hemi, good morning. Welcome back. Chuck, good morning. Welcome back. Vaughn and Laura in Florida, good morning and welcome back. Maverick, good morning. Johnny Mayhem, good morning. Welcome back. I love that. Durkis, good morning. Samaritain, good morning. Robot to Trade, good morning. Tyler, good morning. AC, good morning. Tyler reminding us football starts tomorrow. Tyler, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I enjoyed the hell out of the Hall of Fame game last week. So as far as I'm concerned, football started on Thursday, but you're right. Starting tomorrow, I believe with the preseason, we have 4 straight days of football. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So back. We made it. Brandy, good morning. Welcome back. Acorns, good morning. Welcome back. Triniarch. I love that. From Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Welcome back. Rooster, it's always good to see you, boss. Welcome back. Hey, there's Lion. Howdy, Cowboys. That actually sounds like Lion is in a good mood today. Let's go, folks. Let's go. Lion, do you have any information on Ripple for our guy Zach in the chat? I don't know if you were here when I was going over that, but let me know. Kelly, good morning. Welcome back. Joe, good morning. Welcome back. Matthew, good morning. Welcome back. Good morning on X again. Matthew, let me know. Do you prefer the X stream to the YouTube stream? I'm always looking at restreams. So I never really know, but curious on how you think about that. I know the comments are what gets a little odd, depending on which stream you join. Ed Edwards, good morning. Welcome back. Brandon, good morning. Welcome back. And John McSwain, grand rising, everyone. Well, grand morning, good morning, all of that stuff. Let's get it going. EKS, good morning. Welcome back. Joe Marsh, good morning. Welcome back. Up 30, good morning. Welcome back. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started with our stock market today. Green on the screen ahead of Wednesday's CPI print that we are expecting in about 24 minutes from right now. S&P futures currently holding higher here by 0.27%. Dow futures up by 0.14%. And the NASDAQ leading the way higher on the back of the CoreWeave earnings, up 0.7%, Let's take a look at some cues from last session, as well as what we can expect from this session and some stocks in focus for you here today. Energy and utility stocks bucked Tuesday's market trend to finish higher, but consumer discretionary, real estate, and communication services recorded the steepest drops. As most S&P 500 sectors ended in negative territory, tech losses pulled U.S. stocks down for a second consecutive session. U.S. stock futures were higher on Wednesday as the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 indices rose following Tuesday's lower close. Investors are expecting the July CPI data before the opening bell, with Morningstar consensus estimates forecasting a slight 1/10 monthly rebound in headline inflation and an annual rate of 3.4%. Core CPI is projected to rise 0.2 for the month and 2.5% from a year ago, as early July gas price drops helps offset the stickier core service costs. In the geopolitical update, renewed attacks on the shipping in the Gulf of Oman and Red Sea, coupled with Iran declaring that the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed, signaled a widening impasse in war negotiations, and that is according to Reuters. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.68%. The 2-year bond was at 4.21%. The CME Group's FedWatch tool projections show the market's pricing a 48.1% likelihood of the Federal Reserve hiking the current interest rates during its September meeting. Now, we've got several stocks in focus here for you today, and the first one is, in fact, CoreWeave. The ticker is going to be CRWV, and it surged 17.25% after reporting better than expected second quarter financial results. It reported a second quarter adjusted loss of $103 per share, which beat the estimate of a loss of $122 per share, and revenue came in at $2.58 billion, which beat the consensus of $2.56 billion. Just barely beat it. The next stock on our list there is going to be Super Micro Computer. Ticker is SMCI. It jumped 9.5% after reporting fourth quarter earnings and issuing strong first quarter guidance. The next stock on our list is going to be Lumentum Holdings, and the ticker on this one is LITE. It gained 7.48% after reporting fourth quarter revenue of $1.01 billion and earnings of $3.23 per share, which beat the analyst estimates on both metrics. Revenue more than doubled from $480.7 million a year earlier, and that was driven by growing demand for optical connectivity as AI workloads expand. Nebius Group is the next stock on our list. The ticker is NBIS. It was up 9.22% as Wall Street consensus estimates, according to Benzinga, project revenue of $576.7 million and a non-GAAP EPS loss of 82 cents. Cisco is going to be the last stock on our list here today. The ticker is CSCO, and shares rose by 1.24% ahead of its earnings scheduled to be released after the closing bell today. Analysts are expecting quarterly earnings of $1.17 per share on revenue of $16.82 billion. All right, folks, let's take a look at the SPY chart here, and it's the same. It's the same. We're still sideways. We're still above Thursday's low. We talked about this yesterday, really kind of coming into play. And, well, it didn't actually get tested. That level, by the way, 67646. So 676 and 46 cents. While that level never actually got tested, the reality is that we pulled back yesterday. It looked like we were going to curl back towards the highs. We ended up pulling back. I still think that that's healthy, by the way. And we were able to hold this low. So to me, especially looking at the daily chart here, we are sideways. We are absolutely sideways. Now, it has felt the last 2 days, aside from some individual earnings reactions, it has absolutely felt like the market is waiting for CPI. So we get that today. Let's see what kind of reaction we have. We've had really low volume on the SPY the last 2 days. We'll see if today changes it at all. Some folks on happy hour yesterday were saying that the CPI is kind of already priced in. Like we kind of already know what to expect, and that if as long as that number is not some huge divergence from what we think, we don't have any reason to believe that the price might be baked in. So it'll be very interesting to see how SPY trades here today, and CPI, what that's going to do here for the rest of the day. So we'll see. We get that print 18 more minutes 18 more minutes. We'll see what we get. Now, in the meantime, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. And then we'll actually go through some of the news from those reports last night as well. According to Dean Chen, the U.S. economy faces a complex dilemma as, quote, weakening employment conditions conflict with persistent inflation and energy supply risks, end quote. And that severely narrows the Federal Reserve's policy flexibility. Chen highlights that declining global oil inventories and shipping disruptions through the Strait of Hormuz create, quote, additional uncertainty for the inflation outlook, end quote, complicating the Fed's path towards monetary easing. For the U.S. stock market and broader financial assets, Chen expects high interest rates to remain a key headwind, noting that, quote, the central issue remains the actual cost of capital, end quote. He warns that elevated capital costs continue to place sustained pressure on global liquidity conditions and risk asset valuations. Chen outlines two primary market scenarios tied to upcoming economic indicators. If CPI shows stronger than expected persistence, quote, markets may increase expectations for a September rate hike, end quote. Remember, that currently sits at about 48%. Alternatively, if price pressures moderate, the Fed may, quote, maintain its current policy framework while waiting for additional economic data, end quote. Ultimately, Chen foresees markets remaining, quote, highly sensitive to incoming inflation data, Federal Reserve communication, and changes in global capital costs, end quote. So Dean Chen being a little bit more specific there, but basically saying the exact same thing. We are waiting for CPI here today. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how that affects conversations about Federal Reserve, inflation, and all of that, and the capital costs. We'll see if that kicks up worries about CapEx and all of the other things. So CPI is still going to be at the core of today. And Jay Wild giving us some news here. Powerball reaches $1 billion. All right, I am walking to the gas station to get tickets today. No question about that. All right, let's go to our next story here. This one's going to be on CoreWeave. And remember, MBIS traded with CoreWeave in the after hours yesterday before reporting earnings here today. CoreWeave cashes in on the AI gold rush with a 25% price hike, and customers are still lining up. Vera Rubin demand is, quote, enormous. So again, there are lots of good things on the surface here. We're going to talk about this. CoreWeave reported an adjusted loss of $103 per share for the second quarter. That was narrower than the $122 loss that the analysts had expected, and that was according to Benzinga Pro. Revenue came in at $2.58 billion. That's compared to the $2.56 billion analyst forecast, and the company raised its full year 2026 revenue guidance to a range of $12.4 to $13.2 billion and guided third quarter revenue to a range of $3.45 to $3.6 billion. CoreWeave raised prices across its artificial intelligence computing offerings in July and is passing along rising hardware costs to customers as demand continues to accelerate. CFO Nitin Agrawal told analysts on Tuesday's earnings call that the increase was, quote, an approximately 25% increase across SKUs in response to the current demand environment, end quote. He added that CoreWeave is separately passing through rising component costs to customers, including their pricier GPUs, layering hardware inflation on top of the base price hike. The company noted that the move was a reflection of the return on investment customers are seeing as they shift more of their workloads towards inference. Last week, SanDisk, which is, of course, ticker SNDK, their CEO, David Geckler, said AI demand has shifted customer conversations from routine quarterly price negotiations to long-term strategic partnerships, with some of its largest customers already returning to expand multi-year agreements just 1 quarter after signing them. CEO of CoreWeave, Mike Intrater, said contracts signed in the second quarter carry contribution margins of 5 to 10 percentage points above those in recent quarters, with much of that gain concentrated in Vera Rubin's SKU, which is built on NVIDIA's chip platform. Quote, the demand for Vera Rubin platform is enormous, end quote. That came from Intrater, who added that CoreWeave's pricing power is delivering that infrastructure, and it really bodes well. So again, good stuff there from CoreWeave. Now, continuing with CoreWeave here, CoreWeave also said that data center moratoriums won't stop AI expansion. In fact, they said they're going to impact where the infrastructure gets built. I know we've been talking a lot about data centers, the NIMBY stuff, orbital data centers, the whole nine yards. CoreWeave, ticker CRWV, remains confident it can rapidly expand its AI infrastructure despite a growing wave of data center moratoriums, grid concerns, and community opposition across the United States. On Tuesday, during its second quarter earnings call, Evercore ISI analyst Irvin Liu asked CoreWeave executives whether growing regulatory resistance could threaten the company's expansion plans. Specifically, he questioned CoreWeave's ability to deploy more than 3 gigawatts of active power by the end of 2027 and exceed 8 gigawatts by 2030. CEO Mike Intrater said the company remains confident, quote, moratoriums, they're not going to impact the demand for this infrastructure. They're going to impact where the infrastructure gets built, end quote. He said CoreWeave plans to work closely with local governments, utilities, and policymakers while ensuring communities benefit from data center development through grid investments, construction jobs, and long-term employment and tax revenue. CFO Nitin Agrawal said CoreWeave currently has 4.2 gigawatts of contracted power, along with roughly 1.5 gigawatts of powered land options and letters of intent, giving the company visibility into nearly 6 gigawatts. That puts CoreWeave, quote, well on track, end quote, towards its more than 8 gigawatt active power goal by 2030. And again, that's per Agrawal. The comments come after Governor Kathy Hochul, a Democrat from New York, imposed a statewide pause of up to 1 year on state environmental permits for new hyperscale data centers consuming 50 megawatts or more. The move reflects growing concerns about electricity demand, grid infrastructure, water use, and whether host communities receive enough economic benefits. President Trump and other critics have argued such restrictions could push investment, jobs, and tax revenue to states more willing to accommodate AI infrastructure. So we'll see how it goes here. CoreWeave telling you that the demand is still nothing here is going to change. And then one more thing on CoreWeave about this. So we talked about the headline number. We watched the stock trade up. We watched MBIS trade up on the back of it. The revenue and backlog, look, there's no way around it. These are definitely bright spots for the report, and this is what market participants are reacting to. But profitability is weakening. And like I said, we went through some of this stuff together on Happy Hour yesterday. I want to share some of the notes that we were able to pull out of the report. Management is claiming that there is an inflection point in operating leverage here on CoreWeave, but the numbers, unfortunately, tell a more strange story. Operating income swung to a loss of $49 million, and that was from $19 million in profit a year ago. Adjusted operating margin compressed sharply to 5% from 16%. Net loss nearly doubled to $626 million, that's $1.14 per share, from $290 million, while adjusted EBITDA margins also slipped to 59% from 62%. The main culprit is interest expense, which surged to $640 million from $267 million as debt has ballooned. So yeah, revenue was up 112%. Operating income turned negative. The net loss widened, and their adjusted EBITDA margins compressed. And I mean, the bottom line on this report is that like the top line growth is a demand signal, and it's an excellent quarter. There's no getting around that. The backlog and power capacity numbers indicate that CoreWeave is still supply constrained relative to customer demand. So one of the things that we've talked about is if that constraint cracks at all, you could be looking at a huge price repricing of a lot of these. And it's not just CoreWeave. It would probably be MBIS too. Now, right now, data's not telling us that. But that's something to keep in mind as we continue to kind of move through this AI expansion era. All right, we've got 9 minutes until CPI, 9 minutes until Tim Melvin. I can't wait for his reaction. He's going to be stoked. It's fun. It's fun talking to Tim, especially on CPI days. We're lucky that he comes on with us here on Wednesday. All right, next story here is going to be on Lumentum. This is one of the optical players. Several of you folks trade this regularly here. It's actually been a really, really great winner for some of us here. They reported earnings as well. Lumentum Holdings, which is ticker LITE, their stock surged in pre-market trading on Wednesday after the optical technology company reported strong fourth quarter results after Tuesday's closing bell. for the fiscal first quarter. Lumentum expects adjusted earnings of $4.05 to $4.35 per share. That was well above the analyst estimate of $3.61. The company forecast revenue of $1.23 billion to $1.28 billion compared with the $1.16 billion estimate. That would put Lumentum above a previously targeted revenue level more than one entire quarter ahead of schedule. Adjusted operating margin is expected to reach 39.5% to 40.5%. That is expanding more than 2,100 basis points year over year. Lumentum expects significant demand for co-packaged optics, or CPOs, ultra-high power laser chips to emerge in the second half of 2027 ahead of customer deployments in 2028. The company has received its first external light source module order for delivery in the second half of 2027. It also said demand from its lead CPO customers continue to rise. During the earnings call, Lumentum said demand for its optical circuit switching products remains, quote, incredibly strong, end quote, for 2027. The company is expanding capacity with contract manufacturers and at its own factories to meet this rising demand. Lumentum reported adjusted earnings of $3.23 per share. That beat the $2.97 consensus estimate, according to Benzinga Pro, and revenue jumped 109% year over year to $1.01 billion. That, of course, topped the street estimate of $987.89 million. Adjusted gross margin expanded 1,260 basis points to 50.4%. That was helped by better manufacturing utilization, product mix, and pricing. Adjusted operating margin increased 2,160 basis points to 36.6%, reflecting a strong operating leverage from AI-related demand. Lumentum ended the quarter with $2.74 billion in cash and short-term investments. CEO Michael Hurlston said AI workloads are driving a long-term shift towards optical connectivity as data centers require greater speed and bandwidth. Components revenue surged 103% year over year to $649.4 million, while systems revenue jumped 123% to $356.9 million. Lumentum posted a record shipments of 800G cloud transceivers and began production and shipments of 1.6T transceivers. Management expects 1.6T adoption to accelerate through 2027 as Tier 1 hyperscalers build custom AI clusters and transition from 800G technology. Narrow line width laser assembly shipments rose more than 130% year over year, marking the 10th straight quarter of sequential growth. Pump laser shipments increased more than 80% and remain effectively sold out for the foreseeable future. The company expects pump laser shipments to quadruple over the next several quarters as AI center demand continues to grow. EML laser chips also reached record levels. Products using 200G EMLs now account for more than 25% of EML revenue, and Lumentum expects strong EML and CW laser demand through late 2026 and 2027 as the industry shifts towards faster per-lane speeds. Lumentum is also expanding capacity at its two indium phosphide fabs in Japan. Optical circuit switch shipments doubled sequentially, and the company expects its first quarter with triple-digit OCS revenue in the first fiscal quarter of 2027. So Lumentum, another good report there. Kath, I'd love to hear what you think about this. I know that you've been pretty long on this whole theme here. I'd love to hear what you thought about that report. Be very interesting. Anyway, really good report. Demand is strong. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere. This is par for the course for a really, really good earnings season that we're seeing here. All right. Now, I hope y'all are ready. You guys all know this being as the morning food show. So the fact that we are 26 minutes in and we haven't talked about food is rather an insult. But don't worry. I've got your back. We'll talk about Cava earnings because they reported earnings and they are trading higher as well. Cava restaurant empire keeps growing. And guess what? Las Vegas and the Bay Area is next. Cava Group, ticker CAVA, their stock rose on Wednesday after the company reported better than expected second quarter results and maintained its 2026 outlook. Cava Group reported second quarter revenue of $368.44 million. Cava revenue, which excludes revenue from licensed restaurants, rose 31.3% year over year to $365.43 million, and that topped the analyst estimates of $360.53 million. Diluted EPS came in at 19 cents ahead of the 18-cent analyst estimate, and revenue growth was driven by restaurant expansion and a 9% increase in same-store sales, including 5.3% traffic growth. The company opened 17 net new restaurants, ending the quarter with a total of 476 locations across 29 states and Washington, D.C. This is up 19.6% year over year. Restaurant level profit increased 28.1% year over year to $93.8 million, while margin declined to 25.7% from 26.3% a year ago. Adjusted EBITDA grew 30% year over year to $54.7 million in the quarter. Year-to-date operating cash flow stood at $134.5 million, and free cash flow reached $44.8 million, marking the 10th consecutive quarter of positive cash flow. Cava ended the second quarter debt-free with $435.6 million in cash and investments. Food, beverage, and packaging costs increased to 30% of revenue from 29.5%, mainly due to input costs associated with the salmon lunch, partly offset by a favorable product mix. Labor and related expenses rose to 25.3% from 25%, reflecting a 3% wage investment, while occupancy costs improved to 6.3% from 6.8%, and G&A expenses, excluding equity compensation, fell to 9.3% from 9.8%. Cava launched its first nationwide seafood item, the pomegranate glazed salmon, during the second quarter, with customer response meeting its expectations. It also tested roasted garlic shrimp, and it's evaluating the product's next steps. The company launched its Mediterranean summer campaign featuring harissa barbecue pita chips. God, is that delicious. Strawberry ginger drinks and a digital exclusive salmon bowl, while expanding its loyalty program through new Flavor Passport app experience. Cava also launched its Flavor Your Future team member development program, which plans to hire more than 2,500 employees to strengthen its leadership pipeline. The company is rolling out pre-marinated chicken through 2026 and 2027 to simplify operations, improve consistency, and reduce back-of-house work. Cava plans to enter Las Vegas in the second half of 2026 and the San Francisco Bay Area in 2027. The cyclospora-related food safety concerns temporarily weighed on sales late in the second quarter, but same restaurant sales have since recovered to the mid-single-digit range. Management said it had not seen an immediate impact from the recent salmonella outbreak and does not source from the farms involved. Cava maintained its 2026 outlook for 75 to 77 net new restaurants and same restaurant sales growth of 4.5 to 6.5%, revenue level profit margin of 23.7 to 24.3%, and pre-opening costs of $22 to $22.5 million, and adjusted EBITDA of $181 to $191 million. The outlook factors in the cyclospora disruption, ongoing macroeconomic and geopolitical uncertainty, as well as second-half margin pressure from fuel surcharges and the pre-marinated chicken rollout and wage investments. Despite these near-term headwinds, management remains confident in Cava's long-term growth, supported by strong sales, attractive unit economics, new store productivity, and demand for fresh, flavorful, protein-rich Mediterranean food. Amen to that. Sounds great. All right. Where are we at with the time? It is 7:30. CPI looks like it's out. I see the market reacting. Let's go back to Pro here. That was pretty well timed. I got to say. Let's flip over here. Let's take a look at the data itself. USA core CPI month over month for July in line, 0.2 versus the 2/10 estimate. US core CPI year over year for July in line again, 2.5% versus the 2.5% estimate. The prior read was 2.6%. US CPI year over year for July in line, 3.4% versus the 3.4% estimate, and US CPI month over month for July in line, 1/10 versus the 1/10 estimate. So it is in line. We are basically right where we started. The initial move here on SPY was that we traded up, and then we basically came right back down to where we were, and that's where we are now. So for all of you that said or thought that, the CPI print, there's probably not going to be any surprises, and it's probably baked into the market. Well, so far, so good. Good news here, at least the way I see it. We don't have a extremely poor reaction, and we should be risk on today. But Market is crazy. Market does its own thing. We shall see what it does here. All right. It's time. It is that time. Let's go ahead and bring on Tim Melvin. We'll even warm him up with the guest bumper. Tim, good. Okay, there we go. Tim, good morning. How are you? Happy Wednesday.
Good morning. We're just fantastic. And for all of you that obsess every few weeks over the CPIs and the PPIs, I'm sorry that this didn't make all of your sunshine dreams come true. But this is more the norm than anything else, right? That we don't get the massive surprises. And I've told you guys this and been yelling about it for several years now. Energy is inflation. Inflation is energy. Okay. If energy prices remain fairly muted the month before the CPI release, then the inflation report is going to be fairly muted. If energy prices have climbed and stayed at sustained levels, then the report's not going to be so great. Right? When you go back and you look since we got inflation somewhat under control after the transitory events that took it to over 9%, we fixed the supply chain. We did all kinds of insane things with the Federal Reserve balance sheet and interest rate cuts. And we got inflation down to, about where it is now, 3%. Everything since then has been energy. Right. And so if you just track energy, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Now, this should relieve some of the just ridiculously mispriced pressure on Kevin Warsh to hike interest rates. Because this is a coin flip, guys. It's like, which is dumber, a hike or a cut? And it's a straight up coin flip because the right thing to do right now is to sit still.
Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the inflation is from the supply side, don't you want to wait for that to kind of get through the system?
100%. We're at the point now where the economy's good, but not great. So there's no demand pressure coming from the economy. Retail spending is kind of in line with the underlying inflation rate. So that's kind of a net neutral.
Yeah, and you know what else? It wasn't actually in the news story that I just went over here, but I actually heard the CEO on CNBC talking about the Kava earnings, which I just finished up here. He was saying that one of the surprising things that they noticed from the previous quarter was that even low-income folks that were going to Kava were actually trading up for more expensive meals and then also putting add-ons to that. So it definitely seems like the consumer is still making the choice, at least when it comes to food, that they're going to, they're okay spending a little bit more than maybe they normally would.
Yes. Oh, and Hamid wants to know, am I sure the economy is good? Hamid, yeah.
He loves messing with you, dude. It's one of my favorite parts of Wednesday morning.
The economy is pretty good. All the tailwinds from the beginning of the year are still there. I told you all this, and I've said this, and please, I get so accused of, you hate the president or or a Democrat or so, whatever. I'm not. I'm a libertarian.
He's neither. I can tell you. I speak with him privately. He's neither. Neither.
I'm a raging capitalist, but I'm also a middle of the road libertarian in that I fully and equally, with all the love of my heart, hate both parties equally. Okay. But I said at the beginning of the year, the biggest threat to this economy was policy. And that's kind of what we've seen happen, right? Between trade and the war, it's created a lot of uncertainty, but raising rates to fight inflation caused by a war and the pressure on energy would be a massive mistake. Now, if we're doing the math of what I call the Melvin formula, which is really scientific, because the Fed guys, they use formulas that are about 20 pages thick, so I had to outdo them. So mine's a sentence. You take the average risk-free rate and you add the underlying inflation rate. If I do that, I've got, and this was scary accurate, by the way, it's 4.24% is the proper Fed funds rate. But raising rates in the face of everything that's going on is just a massive mistake. There's too much uncertainty. There's too much interest rate pressure already in the system. So the worst is doing the right thing so far, which is nothing. The pressure on him is going to get really stepped up here over the next couple of quarters. So we'll see how that all plays out. But thank goodness now that people going, we have to raise rates right now, should fade into the background. Now, I sent you a ton of stuff this morning, and we're not going to get to it all because we never do.
But you know what? I did you one better. I saw the sheer amount of stuff that you sent over, and I said, boy, I better prepare the email now. We've got PDFs and links. So I don't know what we're going to get through here today. But folks, as always, Tim is sharing his source material. Send me an email. I'll get it sent back to you as soon as the show's over.
Now, I had occasion to be in New York this past weekend. Now, I generally avoid New York like George H.W. Bush avoided broccoli. I'm just not a fan of large cities.
Now, watch this drive. Sorry.
What's that?
Watch this drive.
Yes. It's but I had to go up there. A very good friend and something of a mentor passed away. The memorial service was there. And at this service were some of the brightest people in all of finance, from the finance side, the debt side, the hedge fund community, the equity side, the crypto side. There were people there representing kind of everything. And we had some pretty good discussions outside of the obvious, rather sad reason that we had all come together. But one of the major points tracks right on to CoreWeave's earnings.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
It's when you get to the what are you most concerned about? Two things rise right to the top. This is the big one. If you look at AI infrastructure spending and frontier company spending, okay, and the virtuous circle that we talk about all the time of AI related spending. Now, if you kind of play around with the numbers on this, the implied return on investment here is really high, right? These guys are committing, and it's supposed to be almost $1 trillion this year, crossing $1 trillion next year on AI infrastructure. Morgan Stanley has taken their estimate of AI capex from $600 billion at the beginning of the year to over $760 billion, and we're just in August. This spending is accelerating, and so the big fear, what if this commoditizes like everything else in the history of the world has done, right? And the railroad is the glaring example. The railroad and the internet, they did change everything in the same way that everything that we're predicting for AI is almost certainly going to come true, right? This is breakthrough. It should make most people's lives better. It should make the economy stronger. If we maintain our lead over the rest of the world, it should make us safer, more productive. The number of great things that AI is going to do is mind-boggling.
Tim, you're either in or you're out right here. I need a quick answer. Is it bigger than the internet?
Oh, yeah. No question. By some orders of magnitude.
To remember the internet revolution, so I think that's a little bit more effective than when railroads were created.
Yeah, by some magnitude of order, by the way. But this is going to change everything. But most of the companies associated with the railroad booms in the 1800s went bankrupt. Hell, most of the railroads went bankrupt, for that matter. That's how some of the robber barons got so rich, was buying them out of bankruptcy. During the internet, as we all rushed to lay broadband and fiber all over the United States, the original companies involved with that mostly went bankrupt. And the dark fiber got bought out of the ground for pennies on the dollar out of bankruptcy court. If the return on investment is not up to expectations here, it is a massive risk to the U.S. economy and to markets. Most of the market-related growth, over 50% of the S&P return since 2021 comes from 7 companies. Anybody want to guess what business they're all in? So
AI.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, it's such a big factor in the economy, and that's going to grow. If this isn't a very high return business, it's going to be a problem. And where it could have the most devastating impact is in the debt market. And Apollo talks about this a little bit in one of the reports I think I sent you. But we financed the first round of AI infrastructure with cash. Okay, cash flow. The second wave is being debt financed. Look at the recent debt issues. Look at the debt calendar. It's Amazon. And Amazon hadn't been to the debt market in like 20 years, by the way. It's Amazon. It's Microsoft. It's Oracle. It's Meta. All coming to the markets and issuing debt to finance all of this build out. And a lot of it, and you've got those that worry about financial engineering and think there's a grand conspiracy out there. Glom onto this because you're right. A lot of this is being done so they can fund the expenditures of AI, but keep those buybacks in place. Right? Because they use the buybacks to hide the corporate stock expenditure that they give to their executives. So, and Anne-Marie, you are absolutely right. Electricity is the closest we can get to describing what AI is going to do. And again, most of the people involved in the early days of electricity went broke. Okay. And there was just a handful of competitors that rose to the top and made it out. Nobody knew who was going to win that Tesla Edison battle, especially Tesla Edison. And in the end of the day, it was the one who was far more ruthless in Thomas Edison. But this stuff's all unpredictable, and it's a major risk for the economy and the markets. AI infrastructure spending is sucking a lot of capital out of the market. It's increasing equity supply, and it's already causing some changes in the debt market. So that's kind of my thought, my takeaway from New York. And if you can't guess what the other big concern is, please turn your computers off, put your money in a tin can, bury it in the market. It's geopolitics. The geopolitical situation is extremely uncertain. It's got potential positives and potential huge negatives for each and every one of us, as well as the markets and everything else. So I could go down a whole rabbit hole on this, but I'm not, because I would want to get my thoughts much more organized. So let's go to some of the stuff we sent. And let's start with the Citadel report, Traders on Defense.
Got it.
Okay, now Citadel processes, pretty much everything. There's very little that doesn't cross a Citadel desk at some point. Almost all retail order flow, especially retail option flow, runs through Citadel. They are kind of the toll taker of the marketplace. So the first half of 2026, retail was very busy. They're less busy in July, and there's a big shift that happened, right? All of those big hot themes, crypto, rare earths, quantum, nuke, they're out. What is in is broader bets. We've really skewed away from betting on individual stocks to buying protective puts on indexes. Retail put activity was at the highest level ever last month. The total retail options traders traded $5.4 billion in premiums per day in July, up 65%, and over half of that was bets against indexes.
Wow. Tim, here's another data point to steel man what you were just saying here. The speculative themes that defined retail participation in 2025, including crypto, rare earth, quantum, and nuclear, have seen an activity decline of 60 to 80% year over year.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so
so much.
That's a big shift that you need to spend some time thinking about. Okay. And by the way, the big bet against the indexes might explain why the indexes have been rallying. That's just a lot of capital.
And as you were saying that people are buying more protective puts than anything, I'm over here thinking, let's go new highs. Because most people are going to get smoked.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, the household debt report. I want to touch on this one quickly. You guys should all ask Ryan for this because I sent him the link to that one. It's just the one that's HH something something, Ryan.
Yep, got it.
Okay, this is by the Federal,
here on screen.
This is by the Federal Reserve. Okay, boo hiss. Yeah, I know, I understand, I got you, but they're still the best data source on the planet. I don't care if you like them or not. We're stuck with them. It's like that nephew that you don't really like, but you got to pretend you do at Thanksgiving anyway. That's the Fed. Okay. Household debt and credit for all the negativity and the naysayers, and we're leveraged up and we owe too much money and it's up to billions and trillions of dollars. Woe is us, we're all going to die. And look at that chart. It just, we're borrowing and borrowing and borrowing.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
when you go through this chart, the household balance sheet is actually in, oh, I don't know, let's call it fantastic shape. Our debt service ratio is down to just 11%. You want to balance that out, it was about 16% when the great financial crisis started. So if the household debt service ratio, and by the way, that's a whole separate report within the Fed that you've got to search for it, and that's not at the New York Fed, it's at the Fed in Washington. But if that begins to go up, that's something that you want to, be concerned about. But most household debt is mortgage debt. The mortgage market is actually in great condition. I mean, really good condition.
Mm-hmm.
We've borrowed a ton of money. There's absolutely no question about that. We're also making more money. We have more money. Our net worth has begun to go up. Bottom line, the consumer's in really good shape. We're not going anywhere, right? Now, are there some concerns? There's always concerns. I have two that come out of this report. One, we started the clock back on, and all of a sudden, the tooth fairy went home, and you have to start paying your student loan debt again. 10.6% of student loan balances are 90 days or more delinquent. It has been a major, major problem, particularly among younger consumers. That is why most of the problems that we see in the credit market are in auto and credit card loans. Ta-da, people 35 and under. The student loan, switch back on is actually something of a pretty big problem. The other thing
It's crazy, Tim. So whenever you go through some of these reports, I think about what I've done in my life and how it's impacted me and how it led me to where I am now. And I'll be honest with you, the whole student loan thing, like I buckled down years ago. And I said to myself, I am not going to be able to do anything with my life if I don't get these student loans paid off. And I made decisions that at the time hurt, like moving back in with my mom, not going out, stop drinking alcohol, all of those things to make sure I could get those student loans paid off as soon as possible. Paying them off allowed me to buy a home, thankfully, and I did that when I was able to get a sub 3% mortgage rate. So right. to me, like I look at this and I completely understand. And this to me is just vindication that I did it the right way. Paying that back as soon as I could was the right way.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing that comes out from the report when you put it together with some jobs data, and this is a tough time to be between 18 and 35. I mean, we talk about the angst among young people, and it turns out maybe there's a little bit of a reason for that. But the other thing that I kind of go, that's a concern for the 17th quarter in a row, HELOC issuance, home equity loans went up. And that's the peaking of home equity loans usually occurs right around the top in the credit market. It's late cycle stuff. So the more this goes up, the more of an issue it is. So, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. Get the report, read it. It comes out quarterly. Get in the habit of reading it. All right. We hear all this junk and garbage that's thrown at us all the time. We've got this huge debt problem. Margin debt is too high. And all of these numbers need to be weighed against the other side of the coin. Margin debt is high, so are equity values. Now, margin debt did spike up recently, and I'm like, not good. But you have to learn to check all of these internet comments because consumers and corporations are actually in great shape. The only one standing out there spending money like a stoned hippie or a drunk sailor is the federal government, and some
sounds about right.
Selective California, New York state governments.
Sounds about right. Surprised Illinois didn't make that list.
So that's kind of the picture from that. It is much brighter than the news would have you believe.
Oh, what a surprise. Turn the news off and things get happier. Real quick, Westcap is asking, Citadel report when you email me. Send me an email. I'll throw my email here in the chat. I will attach all of the reports that Tim is referencing, plus the ones he runs out of time on. But you have to email me. Yep.
All right. Now we're going into hyperdrive here. Okay. It is 13F season. Okay. And they're already starting to trickle in over the transom. For those of you that don't know what a 13F is, UMH is totally irrelevant to this conversation. UMH lost, although business wasn't great, they lost all that money because they put on one of the dumber hedges in the world, related to an attempted takeover offer of TWO, to Twin Harbors Capital, and the hedge blew up on them. So that it didn't have a lot to do with the health of the mortgage market at all. So just wanted to point that out. 13F is a form that every fund manager has to file if they have over $100 million, showing what they own at the end of a quarter. Within the next 45 days, they have to file this report. It's publicly available. I talked to a hedge fund manager this past weekend who said that every few years he sues the federal government to try to get this requirement eliminated so nobody can see his stock positions. He loses every time, but he considers it his favorite way to waste money.
People are funny, man.
When you look at this report and compare it to previous quarters,
which one is this, by the way?
Which 13F?
No, which report is this that I should be sharing on screen here?
None of them.
Oh,
None of them.
that makes sense.
Sorry about that. I went in a whole different direction, Ryan. Keep up.
Got it.
When you compare it to previous quarters, you can see what hedge fund managers are actually buying and selling and not just talking about on CNBC. Okay. Now, two I want to touch on. One is Horizon Kinetics. And this is a firm that everybody should be watching all the time. Horizon Kinetics was founded by Murray Stahl. Murray is one of the more unknown investment managers and more successful of the last 50 years or so. He is and was extremely eclectic. He really looks for things that are scarce. He looks to put himself into position to benefit from persistent inflation. He is a huge fan of real assets. How smart is this guy? He's owned Texas Pacific land for about 20 years now. You go back and do the math. That right there is just an absolute life-changing return. He's a value-oriented guy who was a very early investor in Bitcoin. He started buying Bitcoin when most of the rest of us thought that was just an idiotic thing to do. Now, Murray died back in April at age 72. It was completely unexpected. And people kind of backed away and now, well, we'll see what happens. No need. The team that is in place has been in place with him for most of the life of the firm. Okay. So they're doing the same things that Murray always did with the same approach, the same thoughts, and the same ideas. So when we look at this, we can see, and we're just going to go in here and just take a look at what they've been buying and what are some of the cool things that are going on here. Because this guy honestly really believed, and the whole team there, they're big on asymmetric returns. We're going to put up a little bit of money and we're going to see if we can just knock the absolute cover off the ball.
I noticed he's got 2.4 million shares of Wendy's.
Yes,
which we described as being a possibly undervalued and a potential short squeeze.
Yes, and Hawaiian Electric Industries, the bankrupt Hawaiian utility company, also on the list. Big buyer of Whitehawks Mineral Companies, which is a royalty trust. WaterBridge Infrastructure is a very interesting company. I'm a big fan of WaterBridge, and Murray, by the way, is a big fan of water, as is his whole team. Water is the most underpriced asset on the planet, but particularly in certain parts of the United States. So symbol WBI, it's had a good year. Still, yeah, it's a little expensive, but not horribly so. But they do water management solutions for the energy industry. Most people don't realize it, but fracking and drilling uses an enormous amount of water. So you've got to gather it, transport it, recycle it, and then handle that recycled water. They're operating in West Texas and New Mexico. Should continue to be a really high growth business.
Yeah, this should go really well with the data center construction as well.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, this is okay. Awesome.
And then, you're looking for about a 5 years earnings growth rate here of about 30%. So, and a 10x over the next year, last year, because they wrote some stuff off. So that's just, that's one of the stocks. I'm not going to run out and buy it today, but, you're probably not wrong if you just put that on your to buy list. And if you turn on the news and everybody's panicking and throwing out the baby with the bathwater, you jump out there and you buy a little bit. They're also buying Miami International Holdings, MIAX. They've been on this one for a while. It's an exchange. Hang on one second. We're running a little slow down here for some reason this morning. Come back here to me. Okay. They engage in trading technology, futures, equities. So their trading and execution been around since 2007. They've got a clearing exchange, clearinghouse. So, interesting business. If you read Daniel Wang's recent book, Breakneck, one of the things he pointed out is China's good at building stuff. We're good at financializing stuff. And that bodes very well for the future of exchanges. When you look at everything going on with Robinhood, with prediction markets, this business just gets bigger and grows. Stahl was in this early, but I think there's still tremendous upside in MIAX. Okay, checking myself. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say my producer's telling me that we've worked with MIAX a few years ago and we love their team. Cool. That's okay, you learn something every day.
So anyway, Murray Stahl, you guys should be reading that one. And now this, I'm going to do my quarterly plug, and you guys are never going to do this, and that's okay. I understand, but you're making a mistake. Donald Smith and Company is easily the most unknown and the most boring, and I do mean boring, investment company around. There's nobody more boring than these guys. They were spun out of the money management division of Home Insurance Company. Donald Smith was their head guy. In 1980, he said, okay, I'm out. I'm going to go. I'm going to start my own little firm. And what we're going to do is we're only going to buy stocks that trade below book value. We're going to take the market. We're going to chop it into 10%. And that bottom 10th of the market, as based by price to book value, that's where we live. That's where we'll stay. We will never leave that segment of the market. So he and his partner, Richard Greenberg, started out. They've done it forever and ever and ever. They've been very boring. They've never been exciting. They don't go on the news. They don't really care. They're looking for stocks that are out of favor, that nobody loves, nobody cares about, that have the potential to improve over the next 3 to 4 years. And obviously, there's a credit element to that, because in order to improve over 3 to 4 years, you have to survive over 3 to 4 years. Donald Smith and Company, when you run the numbers on this, they have compounded money since 1980 north of 15%. Okay. Over the last decade, they've been up around 18% in the midst of all the tech and the bubble and all the exciting headline stuff. They're sitting back here. They bought gold miners when gold was, way, way out of favor. They bought them below book values. They bought aircraft leasing companies. They bought insurance companies. They bought Harley Davidson when nobody wanted to buy it. And they have handily outperformed the market.
They also bought Micron, by the way.
Yeah, they did buy Micron. That is correct. So what are they buying now? They're buying Galliano Gold, GAU. They're buying Mosaic, the fertilizer company, MOS. GSM, Faro Globe Incorporated, a decent holding in Trade Alerts, by the way. Piedmont Office Realty Trust. They are buying real estate kind of with both hands here. That's how I know they're smart, because they're doing the same stuff I'm doing. They're buying Eldorado Gold. They bought quite a bit of Greenbrier Company, the railroad ties company. JRVR, which is James River Holding, a rather beleaguered insurance company, which I own too. Honda, they're buying. The home builders are starting to show up in here. There's KB Homes.
Mm-hmm. I think Beezer's on that list too.
Yeah. So you want to know what's out of favor and has a chance to recover, you need to pay attention to these guys. So Murray Stahl, the big hunt for the 10-bagger over time, right? That's kind of the core of their philosophy. They're looking for the stuff that is dramatically mispriced, and that for a lot of different reasons, scarcity being chief among them, in his case, they're going to be monster returns IEL, Texas Pacific Land. That's one. Here we're just going to stick to our knitting. We're going to be bored. And the only thing that's not going to be boring is the enormous amount of money that we stack in our bank account. So
Okay.
Donald Smith and Company, hyper boring. Got to have a 2, 3, 4 year time horizon. So I know that none of y'all going to do this, but that's okay. I mean, I'll say this every
none. I wouldn't say none.
I know. But it's the old Warren Buffett thing, right? They said, well, why are you so generous in talking about what you do? He said, I can sit here and preach this all day. I can teach you guys everything Ben Graham did. I can show you what I did, and most of y'all ain't going to do it. And you know what? He was right.
That's right.
So
yeah. He's right. All right, Tim, really good stuff here. Appreciate it. I know we're going to do more on 13Fs coming up here. Looking forward to that.
We'll do a webinar on that next week, and we'll have a whole bunch more next Wednesday morning as well, because the deadline's coming up on the 15th.
Perfect.
So anyway, thanks for your time this morning, 13, or whoever's following me. Sorry I cut you. Oh, that's Adam Mesh, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. Sorry I cut into your time, but I'll do it every week. Have a great week, everybody. And I'll talk to y'all real soon.
At least you're honest. Tim, take care of yourself. Really good stuff there. All right, Tim Melvin, everybody. And again, we will go through more of those 13Fs there and see what makes sense to buy there. What makes sense to buy there? Fantasy Football Live News says Tim is too full of himself. Well, if you've seen Tim's investing performance, you'd have a different opinion. That's what I would say about that. So it is what it is. All right, folks, we got another guest here. We are guest loaded here today. Let's go ahead and bring on Adam Mesh, see how he's doing here today. Adam.
What's up?
What's going on, man? Happy Wednesday. How you doing?
Yeah, I was stop number 1 on my Fermi victory tour.
I was just going to ask you about that. I know that, the last time that you were on with us, you'd say, I don't really have anything on these movers, but I want to give the viewers something anyway. We had a great conversation about Fermi. I can't wait for 13 to get on too, because he's long the thing also. But you're giving out gold nuggets here. How about this?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the timing was fortunate, but I've had that a lot with you. The greatest thing I ever had with you was when you said, what are you seeing in the future? And we talked about quantum stocks when qubits was at 90 cents. But that was the idea, was a stock that had the potential to move up with a lot of positive catalysts possibly in play, which was them finding a tenant. They found a tenant yesterday. Then when the market closed, they found another tenant. So that worked out well. The timing was luck, but the idea of being in the right place with upside potential was good. Another one, by the way, although it's fun to talk about this one, we also, if you remember, it was Uber was at earnings at 67, and we talked about collecting premium in that stock, and that worked out really well. Also went to 78. So that was another big hit. So we had a good show last time.
Yeah, we sure do. And I'll say this. I know you said the timing was lucky. One of the things that I've discovered here is that the harder you work, the luckier you seem to get. So you can say whatever you want there. Luck is just kind of a part of it. You make your own, it seems, in a lot of different cases there. So really good. Let's just start off here. Let's just start off hot. So what's the next pick?
Well, we're coming in. The CPI number came out this morning. I thought it could have a big influence on the market. We were trading higher. The number came out. We stayed higher. I guess just nothing enough to move the market. I thought also the other one that was interesting that we talked about last week, just going back, because I think it's fun to look back on what we remember. SpaceX had the lockup, and we both said that we didn't think it would impact it in terms of the downside. What we probably didn't realize was how much it would send it up. Everyone's thinking, people have the shares released, they're going to send it lower. SpaceX was at like 110, it went to 135. And by the way, Joe Schmo said, how about Ondas? Ondas I saw trading higher. That's yours. So yes, everybody's winning. Everybody's winning.
That's right. Everybody is winning. Let's get a close above 10 and let's have some blowout earnings tomorrow morning. Ondas, of course, reports tomorrow. I'm excited for this. I think that this is going to be a good number. I think that one of the things that you're seeing here today with the CPI, Tim just told you, the guest before here, This pretty much means that we're keeping rates the same. Rates aren't going higher here, at least not in the September meeting. Should be good for small cap stocks. Let's put a good earnings report on the back of this and cap this thing. Giddy up. That would be something else. And not even just Ondas, but the other one that we have been talking about, we had a space-themed micro cap Velo. We talked about this one at 12. It went to 30 plus, came all the way back into an 8 handle one day. We were able to buy some more there. They reported earnings here. They are higher here today. This thing is almost 17. In fact, it printed 1738 here this morning. So there's been a lot of winning going on around here, Adam. A lot of winning. And do you want some more winning?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. Then we'll bring on 13. 13, right. I know you weren't expecting that one, but here we go. More winning for the group here. I know, look, both of you guys were on Fermi. Adam, you were kind of talking about they got one tenant, then they got another. 13, you have been saying that the two things they needed were a tenant and a CEO. You have any idea how far we are away from a CEO?
Well, they have earnings tomorrow before the market opens, and I don't know if this is going to be the case or not, but with both two new tenants getting signed on, I have a sneaking suspicion that they may announce that they found a CEO. No guarantee if that's the case or not, but we do have earnings tomorrow. Things may get announced. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think about that, Adam?
Well, I think it was a great collaboration, teamwork, where hopefully we all made money. So let's do that again. I mean, at 13, I was saying the timing was kind of lucky that we talked about it. I was saying this is an idea. You were saying what they needed, and then it just happened. So maybe we just need to manifest more. The only thing, this is just like the contrarian in me, is are they releasing all these good announcements because we're going to hear something bad into earnings? I always get a little nervous if they try to prop us up and then the earnings comes out afterwards. So I will be taking a little profit. I'm not keeping it all into earnings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did too. And it's interesting when we look at a 5-minute chart of this thing, we may get some more upside movement here because there is a trend line based on the two highs we had both in the after hours of the past 2 days. So if you want to draw that there, I think we got something to look forward to when we open here.
So you're talking these two spikes, right? We're just playing connect the dots here. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see if we hit that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I trade the data centers, and we had that sell-off when that hedge fund situational awareness imploded, and APLD went from the 30s to 23, and now it's back at 32. Wolf was down lower; it rallied. All of them rallied. Fermi didn't really rally. It never got that comeback play. So the idea that it should have more room to go is what I liked about it. Is it never had that release. So hopefully,
because they still need to build. They still have construction to do. These other companies, they already have compute.
Yeah.
And then there was, I had another thing I was going to mention about the data center angles you were talking about. It'll come back to me.
Oh shoot, I want to hear it.
It'll come back to me.
Well, how about this? He's normally remembers stuff pretty quickly. Adam.
I just remembered it.
Okay.
So CoreWeave, just remember, they just announced that they had a deal with Oracle. So I think that's also giving a little bit of a lift to the data center angle as well. That is something they announced yesterday. Now, CoreWeave still has a ways to go, but their growth is looking okay for now.
Yeah, they're up 17 pre-market.
Yeah, we have another trend here in CoreWeave. If you basically connect the highs starting on May 5th through the recent highs here, we're basically breaking above that trend line here today. One of the things that I said there on CoreWeave is that it's the top line growth and the demand signals. They're absolutely excellent. Really, the question is, this is a supply constraint, which is why they're able to put up these numbers. What happens if that cracks at all? And we're just not seeing it yet, right? AI trade full bore ahead here. We're not seeing any of those cracks yet. We'll see if we do. As far as the chart goes here, I'd love a back test of this trend line here and a hold above that today. Got that at 102. Would love to see that. Would love to see this hold above 102.
Ryan, how's your box doing?
Oh, dude, bot is awesome. 3 days in a row in the green. Adam, I had to fight this morning. I was saying to my coworkers here, I was like, please, market gods, bless me with a CPI print where it's risk on all day. Because what the bot's been doing is that I added an index gate so that it doesn't take trades during chop or when the market's getting smashed. And that way I can just turn it on in the morning and not have to babysit it. That's the whole point. And it's working. and it's working extremely well. But what that means is that it probably won't make as many profitable trades on days where the market is just kind of blah. So I'm hoping that the CPI print today gives us a risk on day all day. I had to fight myself to turn the size up today. I really, really want to. I'm at 100 shares, 5 contracts, 25K max notional value on each trade. I'm trying to go small. I'm trying to go slow. I'm trying to build a history here so that I don't get myself in trouble. But man, after that CPI print, I was like, should I just jack this? Should I just jack this up here and see what happens today? We're not going to do that. We're going to go with the plan, but it's going well, man. Going well. It's profitable.
Do you yell at it sometimes like it's not you who built it? Like it's making a trade. You're like, idiot, what are you doing? You're buying that there? And then but it's not you.
So that's a really good question and actually leads to a funny story. At first, I have this connect. I don't have a separate account for this. I might do that down the road, but right now it's connected to the trading account that I monitor and look at every day. Not my long-term account, but my regular account. And I was like, okay, well, I've got it basically programmed to ignore the positions that I'm holding, so it doesn't mess with anything that I'm holding for a long time, and it's basically trading a defined stock universe. And so I tell it everything to do. And the other day, I was getting ready here. I was like, the bot's not buying the SPY calls here, but I think SPY is going to trade up here. So I bought them. 10 seconds later, my bot liquidates my buy. And then the SPY rolls over and goes lower. And I was like, okay, clearly the bot knew something that I didn't, because it was like, that trade's going to be bad. I'm going to sell that shit for nothing. And then, of course, the SPY ended up rolling over. So I haven't yelled at it yet. I'm probably not going to do that. I'm very, very pleased with how it's going so far.
So it took you out of that's pretty cool that it took you out of a position that it didn't get in for you. That's
correct. But because it was following the rules, and I had tried to front run a 9 EMA move. And so when the bot looked at it and it was like, this is choppy, risk off below the 9 EMA, get that shit out of here. It said no. The funniest part was that the market actually moved lower. Like, had I have stayed in that trade, I would have gotten smoked anymore.
Sometimes you need to take away grandpa's car keys.
You know what? You know what? That's okay. If this thing keeps going green, it can take away the keys. As long as it doesn't take the keys away from my car, then we're going to have fighting words. Ryan, Joe is asking, Ryan, did you manage to cash in the now trade, or did it get stopped out? So that trade actually worked. Unfortunately, it came back in a little bit. It came back in, and I actually didn't make a whole. Yeah, I was up again. This is only 100 shares, so the numbers aren't going to be eye popping. I was up something like $160 on that trade at one point. I ended up closing it for a gain of $35.50. So it actually came back in, lost the cloud, and then stopped out per the rules. So had I have flattened that manually, it would have been a little bit better of a day. But again, one of the lessons I learned very early in this: let the bot do its thing. Let the bot do its thing. Do not interact with it.
One of the things that Joe had brought up earlier, he was saying that it looks like a hardware day. Microsoft now and ACN all down. And I was looking at those, and I own a couple of them, and I was looking at them and saying, these are actually pretty extended. They should be coming back in, especially Microsoft.
Look at this.
Yeah. These are all pretty extended. They need to come back in.
Adam, what have you thought about the software rotation here? Like, just the move back into some of these software names. Are you on the same deal here? Maybe these have run a little too far, too fast?
I haven't been playing that. I've kind of been in my own world of things. I have like a core group of stocks that I've been trading well. And then like when something new comes on the radar individually, I'll play it. So like Uber last week, post earnings below 70. I mean, I love that trade. That was a great trade. And now something I'm also starting to watch, not buy yet, but kind of get ready for a good level would be Netflix has been like dormant for a while. So something I'm looking at, but I don't have, last time I was excited to tell you about that Fermi idea. A lot of the stuff I'm in now is more like it's been going up for the last week, and it's just a matter of trying to hold on and not let myself sell too fast. Like APLD, Wolf, Nokia is on its way back up. I still got BlackBerry that's trading higher now. The Fermi, you know which one? SoFi had a good post earnings event. It's sticking above 18. If it holds its ground for a while, that could take another leg higher. And
SoFi, this actually does look pretty good here on the daily. This is holding above the supporting trend line. This is actually above several of these moving averages, kind of moving sideways here. Got a target of that 200, not far above. I think we'd really want to break this here.
And it's the one that like I can't stop looking at for a while, and it's not good anymore. But it had earnings, it had good numbers, and traded a little weird post earnings with SoundHound. It got
we get asked about this all the time. I'm so glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah, so it was weird because it hit 8, came all the way back down to 7 after earnings. Then the next day, unsolicited, made a move back to 8, and I had a bunch of calls, and it was trading above 8, and I knew I was going to get exercised because it was Friday, and I was like, screw it. I'll just it looks so good, and so I let all my calls get hit to the point where I created a massive margin call on Monday, and then I couldn't, and like so Monday I actually didn't trade. And my wife's like, why aren't you trading? And I was like, I just got so much stock that it won't let me do anything until I sell some of it. I don't want to sell it. But then it just kind of hung around, and I wanted the money for other stuff, so I sold it. But SoundHound, if it gets back above 8, I think it could go for a ride. I don't know.
I think you're exactly right. 13, didn't we look at this chart?
8. Remember how Anne-Marie yesterday we talked about 8 specifically with this one?
Yep.
Because we were looking at, I think it was the May 14th, 2025 candle. I might be wrong about that, but I think no, that's not it. There was one particular candle where it was getting resistance at 8, and we finally moved through it. Maybe it wasn't SoundHound we were talking about, but I thought 8 was the one we were talking about with SoundHound. I could be wrong about that, but
I mean, dude, the candle from Friday. Maybe we're getting the dates mixed up here.
No, it's a different ticker we were talking about.
Okay, well, this thing was battling 8 Thursday and Friday of last week. So
okay, I mean, just looking at the chart here, about to get a silver cross, and yeah, it looks like 8 is a big resistance area right now because it was a former support area back in June, before we lost that level. So here we are trying to get back up into that area. And I think that's probably what everybody's seeing here is that we're getting that resistance from that same previous support level. So yeah, that's what I would be looking at.
All right. Have you guys looked at any of the movers here this morning? And let me refresh Pro here real quick. Say that again, 13?
No, it's what's the next PLAG going to be? Because that was funny yesterday too.
Dude, so I was trading well all day yesterday, and I didn't look at any of the other stuff. And then the market closed, and I saw that PLAG dropped a buck from 6 to 5. And I'm like, oh, this looks like it could shoot higher. But I hadn't been watching it all day. And I bought a little, and next thing you know, it's 4. And I bought a little more, and it's 3. And I wasn't going to kill, but I lost like a couple grand in it. And then all of a sudden, it's back to $1. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm the idiot. I'm the idiot. And I was actually proud of myself because the stock literally went from 6 to 1, and I only lost $2,000. So I was like, okay, I was like, but whoa, that was ugly. I ruined my afternoon.
Man, oh man, it happens to even the best of us, Adam. Happens to even the best of us, it seems. And what a halt fest this thing was yesterday.
It really was. But it was. I think the best part was how we came within 4 cents of the stupid level, because I was sending you information about where this was headed and how I was trading this, and I was out at 3. And I said, if this is going to go to stupid levels, I said it's going to go to 685. It went to 681. That was the high.
Love it. I levels, absolutely love the stupid levels. 681 is in fact your high.
That's awesome. And there's a whole, you have all the charts and everything but this was just, as soon as we got past 3, I was like, I don't want to touch this. This thing is just a halt fest. I don't know if that stupid level is even going to work. It did, but it just, the risk profile was just way too great past 3.
Okay, so let's take a really quick look at some of the movers that are going on here today, and we'll see really quickly if there are any that are worth it. First of all, right off the top, CoreWeave, NBIS, and the accompanying levered ETFs, they're all going to be movers here today. So that's all on earnings. We can throw all those or put all of those to the side here. CRWG, NBIL, NBIG, those are your upside levered ETFs. First one here, as far as the movers, is OFAL, OFAL. God, that is my history has it that my last name used to be O'Fallon. before we move to America. This is the start of that. Anyway, stock is ripping higher here by 273%. This is a U.S. company. This isn't a Chinese company. I don't have any fresh news on here. Even this Form DRS is from August 5th. That's got nothing to do with what's going on here. It's 2.7% of the float shorted, 1 day to cover. Did this thing have a recent split or anything?
Yes, it did.
Okay, 1-for-10 reverse split on July 31st. So that's going for it. Stock's up 275%. I don't see really anything that we can go off of other than technicals on this. I'm going to start by drawing the trend line that's barking at me. But do you have anything else here, 13? Or Adam, have you heard of this before?
No, never.
No. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think so. 13, you got anything on the chart on OFAL, O-F-A-L?
Well, let's look at the chart. I was just kind of keeping an eye on that float because very, very. So we're under 1 million shares in the float. So it could be one that gets latched onto and taken for a ride today. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Why can I not see anything on this? There we go. Okay. Yeah. So you drew an upside. Okay. So that could give us an upside target here. Don't know if we'll break through it or not. I'd say. Let me look at my broker real fast. I think I would say that. As long as we can hold above 250, there's still another chance for upside. But we lose that, we're certainly testing VWAP, maybe even the 65 EMA, where there's the next level of support down around 175. But I think that's, if we're going to see an upward move as we approach the open, I think we need to hold 250.
Okay, so 250 is going to be a key downside spot that corresponds with the 15 EMA. We'll see if VWAP comes into play. That's down there at 212. Otherwise, we have an upside target here. All right, folks, this is a food show half the time. Rocky Mountain Chocolate.
Nice.
Rocky Mountain Chocolate. What is this? This thing looks like it spiked to 240, came back into the VWAP. Good deal is that it held it there and ripped higher. It looks like this, we have a Form 8 here from this morning. So this is the report. No, there doesn't look like there's a whole lot in this. I'm not sure that this is necessarily moving. It stacks up 163%. No, I'm going to say that that's not what's going on here. 2.74% of the float is shorted, 2.86 days to cover. Let's see if this thing had a recent reverse split. No, hasn't reverse split since 2005. So Rocky Mountain Chocolate, this moving higher here. You got anything on this chart?
It's very similar to the last one. I think I'd be watching VWAP. That's our next support before we have a pretty good fall, I would say.
These guys do caramel apples too. Maybe that leading into the fall. I don't know.
Yeah. Looks like the next big seller is in that 185. I think if we get past him, we could break this this trend line here. That's if you draw from the peak of 248 through the high that we just had about 20 minutes ago. I think that would that would give us our breakout. But I think we need to see better volume than this. We need to see more of the volume that we were getting closer to the open of the pre-market.
All right, we'll see if we get that there. RMCF. Looks like there's slim pickings here for you, Adam, at least so far. Here's your chocolate.
By the way, I gotta say your audience the comments make me laugh. Like
every day. Every day I get up here, I come here thinking, you know what, my day is going to be made better by some of the other jokes.
Oh my God,
it is every
I'm
day.
just like laughing at the comment section. But Trade Blue says, does anyone else feel like it's going to be a run up pre-market and then dump? And I do. I also do.
Like every day?
Yeah, it feels like every day. Like
like every day.
And then this is someone else I noticed is commenting a lot. Hamid said. Great comments and said he liked the SoFi. But 13, what's our next Fermi? Like something that's not up 7 points already that has the potential. Anything you're watching like that like you're starting to accumulate a little bit?
Yes.
And while you explain that, 13, I'll be right back.
Okay, so
I'm going to put the ticker on the screen, but then I'm going to step away.
So I'm not
Ryan's
sure.
bots are getting out of control. He doesn't like it.
So I'm not 100% sure, but I've been reading into this company, and it's very interesting. It's called Net Power. Ticker is NPWR. And what they do is they are working with a couple of other companies. Occidental Petroleum is one of them, but they are working on building power plants, modular power plants that have carbon capture technology from a company called Entropy. And what this carbon capture technology does is basically when you, the company's trying to burn natural gas with pure O2 so that they have a cleaner burn, and that just basically results in water vapor and mostly carbon dioxide. They're capturing the carbon dioxide and selling it back to Occidental Petroleum so they can use it for oil extraction, injecting CO2 into to where they've been sucking out oil. I know I'm going to get the terminologies all screwed up here, but when they inject a CO2, it actually is able to push out more or extract more oil because they're pushing out some of the crude from the fine cracks where they're extracting it from. So selling it back to Occidental Petroleum is one angle. The other angle is that they're building in the Permian Basin. So they can scale this up. They're starting with an 80 megawatt power plant. They want to scale it up to 800 megawatts. And they have a facility over in La Porte, Texas, where they've demonstrated this technology. And now they're going to try to start building it. I haven't looked at this to see where they're up to right now, since I've been focusing on other things. But I think they're starting to plan that build in the Permian Basin, or they've begun to the site. So I'm just a little bit behind on the current events of this company, but it's one that I found was very, very interesting and could be a maybe eventually a green play on natural gas if they're combining real oxygen, burning real oxygen, kind of like how you get with Starship, methane and pure O2. Essentially combust to create a water vapor and carbon dioxide. No, I don't think it's a SPAC. No.
I'll tell you something. So 52-week low, $1.32, 52-week high, $5.20. $1.60 stock isn't bad when the floor is zero, and market cap 143 million. If you have a real business, like you just described, like a real business, they're doing deals with Occidental and they're going to be in business. What I really love about something like this that's interesting is it also has options. So if you wanted to just be a professional on this, right? I'm not saying you're not, I'm talking to the audience. If you wanted to just be a professional and make sure you make money, you could sell premium. You could sell premium where available and essentially just own the stock at zero if you collect enough premium. I don't see that there's that much, but like there's premium. Like, I don't know. I would need the market to open, but the fact that it has options, I love selling calls on a cheap stock because what it's equivalent to is it's like betting on a fighter not to win the fight, just to not get knocked out. All they have to do is like go the distance and you win, which is a fun kind of bet. If you ever bet on a boxer to not get knocked out when he starts wobbling and at the end, it's very exciting.
I bet it is. I bet it could be for UFC too.
Yeah.
So, but this is one I'm just, kind of interested in. Got a little position, and I'm just, like I said, I need to get back into doing some more work on this. But they do have earnings tomorrow. After the market close. So I'll send you some stuff that I've done on this, and you can decide for yourself if this is up your alley. But it's one that I found that was very interesting.
And Adam, if you do the professional trade on that and get it for zero, let us know how you were doing that. I'm interested.
Yeah, we got to see if there's options. Yeah.
Market is open. Adam, we'll let you go here. You got anything coming up on the drift that the group should be made aware of?
Yeah, today we have special guest, Tony Batista. Tony
nice.
is on because Tom's away. So it's my second time interviewing him, and he's a strong personality. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome. Be sure to tune into the drift. That's coming up right after Story Trading right here. We'll send you there automatically. Adam, can we do it again tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. That was fun. 13. That was fun.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Take care, Adam.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Adam Mesh, everybody. Be sure to tune into the drift, and we'll see him tomorrow. Take care, Adam. All right, really good stuff there, folks. We are open. Let's go. Let's go here today. Risk on indeed.
Yeah, and as expected, we did see a lot of names pull out at the beginning there. But
including the SPY, by the way, which is pulling back towards its VWAP.
Yep. Villo popped up to 1761. That's pulling now. So probably going to see a lot of selling.
Ondas printed 10. That's pulling now. That's down a quarter from that 10 print. Apple traded up out of the open. That pulled. Netflix continued to pull. Palantir traded up and pulled here. Jay Wild mentioning that SMCI is a sell-off. So the question here is this just profit taking, or is this the start of kind of a rough day? MBIS, by the way, which we got asked about earlier, they reported earnings here this morning. They were up on the back of the CoreWeave earnings. Then they went up more from their own earnings. Now a little bit of a pullback here. Still higher by 13%, though.
I'm going to try to get some of the stuff I was talking about in power.
Oh my God, Bloom Energy. Oh my goodness. Bloom Energy up 17%. I'm sorry for interrupting 13, but this thing was higher in the pre-market on the back of its earnings. This is ripping out of the gate here. Lion, you had said earlier this was a must own, and this was not earnings. I beg your pardon. This is just must be on the back of the MBIS and CoreWeave earnings then. Bloom Energy, big time rip here. We talked about the CoreWeave levered ETFs. Those are popping here. Nokia's popping. Adam Mesh brought that one up. By the way, MBIS pulled to VWAP. It's at VWAP right now. We'll see if it holds here. It's 220. CoreWeave looks like that tried for its pre-market high bust right out of the open. SPY, Dow, Qs, all still pulling here out of the open.
I think there was a question earlier about Empower's financials. Just so you know, they don't have revenue right now because they're still, growing, and they're still trying to get everything going here with their the whole Permian Basin. They
do have cash though.
They do have a lot of cash, but this is still a very early stage growth company with a very interesting idea.
Light looks like the first move after its earnings was higher, although this is still kind of jostling around there. Tesla, this is a huge yank out of the open. Let's see how, okay, so this is basically down to yesterday's intraday low. Watch Tesla here, 330. That might be a spot. SpaceX would be the next stock I want to take a look at there.
And OFAL, that's halted. I don't know if you mentioned that or not, but this is the one that has the low float that might get taken for a ride. So we'll see if that ends up happening or not when we unhalt here.
Oh, Junky Little Weth is up 7%.
Nice.
We touch. Okay. Hylan, HYLN. This halted to the downside. Okay, so that pulled into a downside halt. Got it. And by the way, MBIS, so bot is still not trading in the first 5 minutes there per the rules, but here's MBIS. This pulled past the VWAP right to the 65 EMA and bounced.
Hylian traded up on their earnings, and now they're, I guess, seeing some profit taking here. Wonder if this finds support down around this area that's coming to 460. We'll see if it holds up there. Looks like that was support after the big impulse move from earnings.
Here's OFAL. Oh, by the way, Derek, you were mentioning OFAL. I didn't give the halt time. This was 9:30:34. So we're actually expecting this to open at 9:35:34. That is 50 seconds from right now.
It might be, Joe. Please, when it comes to NPWR, it's still a very, new company. It's growing and all that. Please do due diligence on it before considering a spot in that.
So I would just say, just kind of as like a general thing here, it's a higher risk trade, right? There's some associated risks that you need to accept for that trade.
Yeah, and here I can tell you what I wrote about it back in May. Another one I've talked about this year I thought was very interesting. This is an energy play that burns pure O2 with NG and captures all CO2 emissions for a net zero emissions gas power generation modular plant. The company then sells the CO2 back to Occidental Petroleum. The company has demonstrated its technology in La Porta, Texas, with its 80 megawatt power plant, plans to scale up to 800 megawatts in its Permian Basin project called Project Permian, near the Occidental Petroleum's Permian Basin operations. The company has several financial hurdles to get over this year, including the final investment decision. That was the big thing, in which, if approved, the project will move into the construction and execution phase. The final investment decision is expected to be approved in the second half of this year, with plant operations running by 2029. So there is a little bit of a runway for you as far as time goes on how soon they expect to have plant operations up and running. Like I said, very early stages, but that final investment decision could be a big mover of the stock.
Okay. All right, good stuff there. OFAL, in the time that you were reading that, OFAL resumed and rehalted.
Yep.
It was open for a whopping 28 seconds before it is halted to the upside for the second time today, this time at 3. I think it's probably pretty safe to say that this thing's going to go for its 350 high.
Yeah, I'm not going to make the claim yet that this is the next PLAG. I think we need a little bit more data first.
Okay.
And if it starts to look like this thing is going to really go on a run, like it breaks our trend line and all that, then we can start examining some of the stupid levels. Okay. Those are always fun.
Okay. No, Joe, you were just trolling and joking around there. Got it. Got it. Had to make sure I saw that one.
Well, it was great, everybody. I'll see you later.
SPY here looks like it is trying to curl at its VWAP. The S&P futures bounced clean off the VWAP down there.
Velo coming down some more, down to its 200 EMA, giving back a good portion of the move up it had, which is fine. I mean, like I was saying, this had, I was expecting this was going to, provide a negative EPS. They still are, not profitable, but revenue is growing. Got to have a long-term prospect on this.
Indeed. And that was actually a pretty good report there from Velo.
It was.
One of the other things, I actually didn't go into this earlier, but one of the things that I wanted to read about this from earlier, let me find it in my note sheet here. Where are you? That was back in its guidance here. Okay. I had asked really quickly to see if there was any new development on Anduril or SpaceX for Velo here. And it said that Velo on the call explicitly called out aerospace, defense, energy, and space markets multiple times. And they mentioned accelerating demand from aerospace and defense customers. So the space theme, if you're bullish on that, the drone theme for defense and all of that, if you're bullish on those, Velo is telling you, hey, we are seeing increased orders from these. And that, as far as a future takeaway, I think that's bullish. 13.
With regard to Net Power, I was asked earlier if this was a SPAC. It was a SPAC. I misspoke. It was a SPAC. They merged with Rice Acquisition Corp. 2. So I think that was one of the reasons why I even started looking at it, because I'm familiar with the Rice Acquisition. I forget what the other company was they did previously, but when I remember hearing about it, so I took a look at Net Power. And I thought that what they had going on was interesting. So yes, this was brought to market via SPAC.
All right, MBIS here, by the way, look at this pullback. So this is actually a pretty interesting data point. My bot tried to trade this on the pullback and actually got stopped out on a cloud loss on the pull down. So, and what's interesting is that this is actually right back on. In fact, this trade would be in the green now. So this is going to be something to kind of dig through a little bit earlier. Nonetheless, NBIS, big pull to the VWAP and a move back higher here. That bodes well for the rest of the session here today. Here's a look at CoreWeave, which has continued to go higher than the pre-market high.
That's
so
wild.
Looking pretty good on here. Big Bees took 100% on SMCI 35 call. Where's the entry alert there? Immediately took to the daily gap. Let's go. Nice job, Big Bees. Give us those entries. CoreWeave may have some more, according to Gary. This might pop and go. We'll see. Velo, nasty pull.
Did I get that wrong with CoreWeave? I thought they had the deal with Oracle. Did I get that wrong?
What deal?
I thought they had a deal with Oracle. I might have got the company wrong. I thought they said they had a deal with. No, that was Quantinuum. Sorry.
It's okay. I was going to say this is a tough day for me to go through that because there's a lot of news from the earnings. But okay, so it was a different company there.
It was a different company. Yeah.
CoreWeave's still doing really well today. This is plus 21%.
Yeah, it's QTN that had that deal. No, wait, hold on. Where is it? QNT. And that they are up big. This is the one that was spun off from Honeywell.
CoreWeave partner is unknown, but it's likely OpenAI. Thank you, Big Bees.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry, with all this web of financial gymnastics, it's just kind of hard to keep track of who's Who's scratching who's back anymore? But I'm sure all roads lead to NVIDIA.
It always seem to.
Yep.
Brandon, I'm up 50% on CoreWeave with tight stops. There you go. Just don't let that manage it, man. Don't let that trade go red on you. Oh, look at Intel. Intel marching higher, recapturing $100 here. SpaceX also showing up on the list. This is actually starting to trade higher. Cerberus Maverick is asking about CBR. Doesn't that report earnings tonight? Yes, it does. CBRS reporting earnings tonight. That was actually higher here in the pre-market. We're beneath the VWAP, but this actually found some support near the 65 EMA once today. If we continue to roll over here, CBRS, watch that 240, 241 area, Maverick. And let's see if NBIS here can break and go higher through 227.
You know, it looks like OFAL, when it unhalts, it's probably going to go higher. I see a lot of positioning above the current price.
And Christoph, SMCI made money for the day, done for the day. All right, at least you guys are hitting these things right out of the open. That's awesome.
Yeah, there is a lot of positioning above the current price in OFAL. Be interesting to see what happens when this unhalts. Looks like we're starting to get a bounce in some names as well.
So the bot is 0 for 3 today. It actually tried to trade some of these pullback cloud moves a little early. It looks like Meta, NBIS, and Broadcom all stopped out for $148 to the downside. So that's not terrible. But my one of the other things that I added here was a lock, so it doesn't keep whittling money away. MFT Cloud, my strategy there is actually on hold for the next couple of minutes. Since it had 3 negative trades in a row. Okay, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Cisco, or thank you, Billy. CSCO, they report earnings here later today as well. They're actually a little bit higher ahead of that report. Big B's, do you have a hypothesis on Cisco's earnings? And by the way, S&P futures still holding the VWAP for now. SPY is actually under the VWAP, but it does look like the selling is kind of slowing down now. So maybe we get a reversal.
I see some big turnarounds happening in some names.
Velo, looks like that's turning around. SpaceX up near the highs. Okay, Apple's turning around. Amazon's turning around. Bitcoin's even trying to turn around.
Quantum names are turning around. Okay. BlackBerry went briefly under 9. Now it's back above it.
Oh, that's Quantum Biopharma. That's I put the wrong ticker in here. Here's Rigetti. This is turning around here. Good morning, Knights Lance. Great to see you.
Looks like RMCF is now halted to the upside. Let's get OFAL to unhalt so we can play with that one now. You know, our toys are not having fun with us.
RMCF, that Rocky Mountain chocolate, that did a really good job holding 150. Now, if I'm ignoring that first candle, I actually have like a trend line target now, maybe up around 210.
Yep. Let's see what we got. But OFAL, I mean, I with all the well, now I'm starting to see some repositioning, but I still see a lot of positioning above the current price. So this could be, we could see a nice gap up out of the unhalt with this one. Don't know how much time we have left on it.
OFAL, let me tell you. Last halt here on OFAL, 936.02. So that's probably going to be a 10-minute.
Yeah, and so which means we've got about 50 seconds.
Okay. Bivy getting mentioned by Jay Wild. That's about $1.86 here. Oh my, this is ripping on volume here. Bivy. Did we have news on this, Jay?
Biotech.
Negative.
Rev.
Tesla, that sell-off looks like it's slowing down.
Yeah, they had news last week. Nothing I'm seeing here this week.
Bivvy's still going higher. Trey mentioning that the IWM is breaking.
And here we go with OFAL, and it did exactly what, Jesus. Okay, well, there it is. Just gapped up, and now we're into another halt.
And it's going to be right at 350, right at your pre-market high. I'll give you the halt time as soon as it's official. There you go. Halted. Oh my goodness. Halted 946.18.
Yep. So yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about this price ladder. You get to see where a lot of positions are starting to stack up, and when they have a whole bunch that are well above the current price, that's where they start to get filled.
Anne Marie says the heat map looks like a mixed bag. MBIS through 227. Look for 228. Your high print 229.89. Boy, this trade's going to work, and I got stopped out of it.
So
I'll give you a really good case study though to break down later.
BIVI has a conference call that's scheduled for today at 4:15 p.m. I assume that's Eastern, and they're going to discuss the results of the phase 2 results that they had announced on August 6th. Their top line results of phase 2 Sunrise PD trial of bezisterim.
This is halted, by the way, Bivy. Halted to the upside 236.
Okay, but I think that's what this might be running on here. They have a conference call at the after the market closes today. So,
all right. Multi-time frame cloud halt is over, so the bot will start resuming when stuff meets that criteria.
Also, Ryan, if when it comes to Bivy, if you want to indicate where this news is that I just was talking about, if you look at Thursday, August 6th, the 7:30 article, that's where I got that information. So if anybody with Pro wants to look into this themselves, and there's the information I was looking at.
Yep. And there's also an entire PR in here if you wanted to break that down as well from that same day. Okay. Bob is asking 13, do you have any thoughts on VBio?
Let's see.
This is a penny stock, so I'm guessing no.
Probably not, but it's making some moves here today, so we can certainly see why that is. So the news here that I see today is that they announced U.S. government-funded entolimod studies targeting lethal radiation-induced GI injury. So they're getting money from the government, and that's why it's up. Here we go with RMCF. Sorry, RMCF. We just broke the trend line.
That was resumed here.
Yeah, it resumed and then it broke and then now it's halted again.
SPY, by the way, this is bouncing. So if you were watching the S&P futures, this is basically a clean bounce right off the VWAP. SPY here has recaptured VWAP and looks like it is testing the 9 EMA. Indeed, we are right there. And VBio, thank you, WIS. Be careful with this. There's an offering on the table on VBio.
Well, do they need to do the offering now if they're getting government funding? I guess that would be my next question here. It's a great point, and they still might do the offering, to be honest. But now I'm wanting to know if they're going to need to raise that money or not. I don't have any figures here for the government funding that I can see right away, but that's why it's moving here.
Nice bounce in the market. Velo's bouncing. Tesla actually is not yet. That's back down here at 329.
Now, when it comes, oh wow! So VBio, we have seen this stock be suppressed by its 20-day SMA since it came into existence. This thing is a fresh IPO. I'm assuming. I don't know if it was brought via SPAC or not, but I don't have any data going back beyond April 27th. Let me just check and see if that's the case. Yeah, I don't see anything beyond April 27th. So ever since the 20-day SMA showed up, that has been the resistance for the price action. We started trying to break it yesterday, and then today we blasted not only through that, the 50-day SMA, and we are coming up to some resistance up near $1.
Fermi trying to go through its VWAP right now. Kathy mentioning that SanDisk and Micron both up here today, 7%. Look at this dip and rip on SanDisk. Nice little dip and rip on MU.
This is a significantly okay. So look at Micron. We were just talking about 20-day SMAs. Since we lost the 20-day SMA in Micron, there has not been a meaningful recapture. Actually, there's been no recapture really. It's been a side of rejection. Today we're over it, and if we close over it, I think that marks a notable shift in sentiment here for Micron. Now we still have the 50-day SMA to get back above. Yep. But I think I think it's notable that we're back above the 20-day SMA. I would say that we probably need to spend the rest of the week holding this moving average, and then maybe next week there could be some more upside. I want to see a few days above this moving average.
And the 50 is at 965, so it's not even that far away from where we're at. We'll see how today ends up finishing, but there might still be a move towards these today.
Pretty good morning.
Not bad so far.
Now you gotta get that bot to get a good trade under its belt, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Bot right now doesn't see an edge here. Index gate is stopping it from entering, but otherwise it looks good to go. I am very curious. I have not seen any buy signals on the 0 DTE. And it looked like we were maybe getting ready to kind of move above the VWAP there and kind of turn around today. And that is immediately being met by selling pressure here. So here we go on the SPY right back down to that 65 EMA. We'll see if it holds this area here.
Daniel, thanks for the info. RMCF is announced they're exploring the possibility of going private or selling. This is just a day trade for me, so I have no intention of holding this, but it's good information to know. G-Man mentioning that Micron, he has levels to the upside 950 and downside to 900. Yeah, so it looks like today 900 was actually your support because we had a low of 899.54. So that support kicked in, which is great because I think you're right. We do need to hold that psychological $900 level. We do have that 20-day SMA down just beneath 880. For 950, that's going to be that's still going to be beneath our 50-day SMA. Yeah, I don't know about that one. 965 looks more like the big resistance to me, but I'm there with you on that support level, the 900.
Kathy Ofel, is it going to unhalt soon? Let's see what the time says on it. Right here at 350, it was halted at 946.18. So I think we're looking at 956.18. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. That'd be 10:01. Because wouldn't it be like a 15-minute halt at this point? Or
I don't know. Okay. By the way, RMCF halted, or no, that is resumed. I beg your pardon.
Oh wow,
I'm so sorry.
So there's another spike and halt up now. I don't know what's going to happen next with this one because usually after 3 halts like this, we usually see some selling. So maybe we see some selling here out of the unhalt next time, but we'll see. We'll see.
Looking around here. We'll keep an eye there on OFAL. Can you enter your email again in the chat, Ryan? Yes, I can. I did send out the first batch of those that emailed me for Tim's documents. Those are sent out. Here's my email for anyone else that wants those. I'll get those when I move over to story trading here when I've got some time.
Bivy volume spike. Get another volume spike. Is that what you were saying? Last 5-minute candle I have has the biggest volume. We're still early into this current one, but it looks like it's slowed down a bit here.
Anne-Marie mentioning that CoreWeave backed off that 111 high. This is basically flirting with its 65 EMA right now on the 5-minute. It is trying to find that as support.
I think I have an idea of where we might see Quantinuum go.
VBIO is open. This is doing its best to hold $1 at the moment.
Cool. Got up to $1. Perfect.
It actually went to $1.21. It looks like.
Let me, I'll look at that one in a second. I was just taking a look at QNT because I'm kind of curious if we're going to get this test of a trend line here at about 65.32. All right, so OFAL just unhalted, went up to 370 and sold a bit here, but it's now going into another halt. Anyway, with QNT, I was looking at a 5-minute chart and I was trying to back out so I could see the past several days. Looks like from August, there's an August 4th high and a August 7th high that I could use to draw a trend line to connect those 2 points. And if you keep it going, we're headed towards it.
Which ticker was this? I'll try and follow you. I was doing it on OFAL.
This is QNT.
QNT. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So if you just look at a 5-minute chart, kind of back out so you can see the past, like last week as well, you should be able to see the August 4th high and the August 7th high.
Yep, sure do.
And you just draw a trend line with those, and that kind of gives us a little bit of a target to shoot for here in the regular session here today with QNT, which take us up to about 65 and a half.
I got it right there. About 65.30 is where my line is. That's perfect, 13.
Yeah, so we'll see what we get out of that.
Okay.
And what else do we have going on here?
VBio halted to the upside. So it broke that 122 or 121 day high, now halted 130 to the upside. Market is still coming in, by the way. Anne Marie is saying, prepare for chop if you're trading the indexes. That's no bueno. That's not what we want to see. SPY, though, is taking the move lower here from that 65 EMA it was trying to find support at.
And to the point I was making earlier about RMCF and having 3 halts now, look at what OFAL just did. We had 3 halts, green candles, and then we finally had a red one. I anticipate this is what we're going to end up getting here with RMCF out of this next halt. We should see another higher print, but maybe some selling into that print. Velo trying to hold its 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Looks like we had a drop in Bitcoin. That's recovering.
The VIX got melted. That's down at 14.
What else is doing stuff? Cooler having a pretty good day. Not sure what news is going on with that.
CoreWeave still holding that 65 EMA. Let me bring up Cooler here, 13.
They have earnings tomorrow after the market closes. Not sure if this is a run up into that or if there's news. Last piece of news I see here is just that they set the conference call for tomorrow.
Okay. So nothing big yet.
They've been selling some of their Bitcoin too.
Look at NVIDIA. Someone was asking yesterday if they thought NVIDIA would take 220 today, and sure enough, it's done exactly that. NVIDIA marching towards the high. SPY is also trying to trade back up. We'll see if that can recapture VWAP.
NVIDIA is... Looks like they're trying to get back up to that 230 area.
Nikhil asking if we covered the news on Ondas from yesterday. Yeah, we cover the news anytime it comes out. But the real big thing there with Ondas is that tomorrow morning it reports earnings.
And there it is with RMCF. There it is.
You got exactly what you were looking for there?
Got exactly what I said was going to happen. I mean, not exactly. I just saying maybe there's a higher print and then a sell off. But no, we sold. There it is.
You know what I did miss yesterday, Nikhil? Roth Capital initiated new coverage on Ondas, price target 13. I always love when companies do that ahead of earnings. I like it a lot more when they do that ahead of earnings. That's what we got yesterday, so good stuff there. Okay, and now what was the other one that RMCF?
Yeah, so just like with those halts, same as OFAL, after the third halt, the fourth one was the selling. We saw some selling into another halt. Same thing happened here with RMCF. Now it's back down to the trend line. I don't know if this is going to get to that support or not. It might. And if it does, then it could still continue higher. But this is, it's what we were expecting, or at least what I was expecting.
Yep. You called it early, called it before it happened too. That's my favorite when that happens.
Now let's see what's looking good. That's not having a rough time this morning.
I'm just going to roll through the scanner here. Bivvy's still up near 3. SMCI came back in a little bit to its VWAP.
SMCI up, but they're probably only up until their next scandal.
Funny because it's true. MBIS 230. This actually looks like this is going to go. Boy, tell you what, the bot was on the right stocks this morning. It just got shook from them. I'll tighten that up.
We'll look at NIQ. Let's take a look at NIQ.
NIQ. I don't even recognize that.
We're talking about this this big move up here that it had yesterday. Looks like something you would see out of earnings, and it was. They had earnings on Monday after hours, and the resulting move on Tuesday is off those earnings. They had top and bottom beats. They raised their guidance to well over the midpoint. So this is like one of those blowout earnings that you see the stock trade very favorably towards. So I wonder if you're asking if this is like a one-off or not. I mean, this looks like it's going to hang out up here, but you could see some profit taking happen. It's got a very, very high RSI. I would expect this to come back in because of how extended it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically where I would be at. There's also a bit of a trend line here, starting back from. How about that? So if you look at the price action on a daily chart from this July 2025 high, and you draw it through the high of January this year, that trend line runs right into where we're at today, and it's giving some support.
Guys, is anyone shocked that a trend line is working again?
I feel like, it's kind of silly, isn't it? But
it is, but it's entertaining, if nothing else.
Well, it's just, I think it just goes to show that this is what the algos are using. They're just using technical analysis.
They have to be.
It's been working so well for so long now, and it seems like it's been working as well as it has ever since we've had so many bots get onto the market right during COVID. That's just kind of the thing I'm seeing here. I don't have any proof that that's actually the case.
Yeah,
but it just seems like that's what's happening.
I got you there. G-Man mentioning Micron here, ticker MU. G-Man saying Micron is recharging at its VWAP to hit 930 again here. So Micron basically did trade up to 931, came back in, actually held the 9 EMA pretty well. Looks like it's trying to bounce right here. Dow is red. Dow did. It's basically at unchanged. What's interesting is that the NASDAQ, when we first signed on here, was higher by 0.77%. It's higher by 0.82% now.
RMCF open back down to VWAP. There's a big seller in the way now at 168. So it's going to take a lot more volume to get through that guy.
It actually looks like this 150 area is going to be key here for RMCF. We'll see.
Yeah, they're coming up to try and hit them right now. I just got some resistance there from that size.
Let's see. What did Bivy end up doing? Oh my gosh, Bivy kept climbing. This went through 3, weren't we? I feel like we were just looking at this when it was just shy of 3. Now we're through 3 here on Bivy. It looks like it might be getting a little heavy up here. How did CoreWeave do from that 65 EMA? Okay, that held it still. Not moving yet, but it held it.
RMCF still getting that support. There is a lot of selling happening, but they're chewing through it.
Ondas looks like it might be curling a little bit. SpaceX is still enjoying its move higher here. SPCX. There we go.
It's interesting with Divi, and maybe you can see it on your chart too, but looks like it finally gap filled, and now we're getting that resistance. It might be temporary, but we just gap filled from the chart.
I'll be damned. You're absolutely right, 13.
Kind of hilarious.
That's a good mention though, because we talked about that on the chart too. Okay, good stuff there. Brian, you had asked earlier if we took a look at Riot after that Anthropic deal. So we didn't really. Here's the deal. Here's what I would say off this, and I am open to listening to anyone else's thought on this. The way in which it traded yesterday told us everything we needed to know. They reported earnings. The earnings were good. They also had this deal with Anthropic, and they completely retraced all of the gains that they put in. They did find support at yesterday's intraday low, but man, oh man, I don't like this trading action at all. Don't like this trading action at all. Here's the other thing. The 84% lease gross margin was, in fact, the standout number from that report. The question is, how are they going to be able to hold that? Revenue grew 14% year over year to $174 million, yet the company recorded a $237 million GAAP net loss and a $70 million adjusted EBITDA loss. So the data center ramp is promising, but it's not yet large enough to offset the Bitcoin mining volatility and the non-cash charges. That's Riot, RIOT. I think the market told you that they didn't care for it much either. What'd you have, 13? Sorry, I think it felt like I ran you over there.
I'm just going to pull something up here for Riot
Sure.
Platforms. They have a timeline for their rollout of more compute.
Oh, that's right. I think you gave that yesterday to us. Appreciate you, 13.
Okay, so as far as Riot goes, when it comes to their expansion and leasing of compute, they have a deal with AMD to expand their Rockdale location, and Phase 3 is set to be delivered by November this year. It's going to be an additional 10 megawatts of capacity. May next year will be Phase 4. It's an additional 15 megawatts of capacity, and that'll be the final full deployment of AMD's total contracted 50 megawatt allocation. They also have Frontier AI Lab, which they're going to have an initial phase delivery of 96 megawatts in December next year. And the final deployment will be in June 2028. And that's going to result in a full 191 megawatt allocation. So there's several things to look at. They also have some future development and future pipeline with Corsicana. That's another site. They're going to try to get somewhere between 750 megawatts to as much as 1 gigawatt. And they're also looking at other sites as well. So they're trying to expand. It just might be slow.
Lion, take care of yourself, man. Have a great one. You're still on vacation in the Smoky Mountains?
VBio halt again. Yeah, OFAL still hasn't unhalted. Wonder why that is. Let's see.
Yeah, let me check here.
Probably because we need it needs to be 1017 probably.
Yeah, the last halt here was 9:56:33. And so you're thinking 15 minutes puts you at 10:10. That's so like right now or close to it.
What would you say the time was halted at?
Sorry, I put it away here. 9:50. Let me get the exact time. 9:56:33 was your halt time on OFAL.
Oh, so we're past 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure.
MBIS about to break 230. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this finishes up. This will be a great case study for why we didn't stay in this trade. AEHR up 11%. I haven't looked at that at all yet, Kath.
Glad you guys are getting some money out
Look
of
at that.
Continuum. This is great.
QNT, Barb is dancing on the table and cheering. I just love it.
You know, there is some resistance up where we're at right now, but if the price can manage to push through it, and there's still some more buying, it looks like they're really big resistance areas up at 70. When this started trading, the day that it started trading, it popped up over 70 and came back in. So no close above that. It actually sold off. And then finally, later in June, when it did get over $70, it held that area for, looks like a couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks. And then finally on July 13th, we lost that level again, have not been able to recapture. So I think $70 is a pretty interesting resistance area for QNT.
Okay, good stuff there. Lion, I just came back home. My son starts school today. God, school starts early, August 12th. It starts on a Wednesday.
Oh, my son's school started yesterday.
Did it really? On a Tuesday? That's so crazy. G-Man saying MU heading back to 930 after the VWAP recharge. Giddy up. My bot actually took MU here. The entry price on MU was 920.29.
Yeah, OFAL unhalted. Big time drop, and it halted again.
And it was, you guys are correct. So Derek said it could probably only trade OLAF for 10 seconds before the next halt. Quick check here. Actually, it was open for 15 seconds, Derek. 15 seconds. That's all you had. I'll be honest with you. This halt stuff, not my cup of tea. I've told you guys that before. I don't like any of this back and forth.
That's why I stayed out of seconds. Yeah, that's why I stayed out of PLAG once it got to 3. I was like, I don't blame you, because if you look at the charts I was sending you, you can see just how crazy gappy the halts were, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't trade that because it'll unhalt and it'll go right past my orders. Yep,
exactly. I don't like the halts at all. I don't like that momentum. I mean, it's great if you're in one and you're in one for much lower and it gets halted going to the upside and it looks like it's going to keep rolling to the upside. Yeah, I totally get it, but that's not always the case. School starts early, out by Memorial Day. Yeah, that makes sense. I also hated school as a kid. Buffalo by bicycle. Oh, and Micron all over the place. Big pull there. And this 5-minute candle. See if Micron bounces here at all. North Carolina school starts today. That's crazy. That's crazy. Cancel. The school starts next Monday, which is the 17th. I think.
I guess they do it for a number of reasons. District budgets, bus schedules, parents' traditional work hours, things of that nature.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? SpaceX still near the highs. SPY looks like it's trying to curl, but I think Anne Marie's call on the chop has been the most accurate so far.
We need Arnold Schwarzenegger voice on the choppy days. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Get to the chopper. Get to the choppy days. I gotcha. Predator was actually on TV the other day. Cam says traders are always in school being schooled. Ain't that the truth? This is a lifelong learning job. That is for sure. You will always be learning if you're active in this job. That is for certain.
Now,
never ends.
I know that the Halt Fest stocks, RMCF and OFAL, I know they're not looking great right now. That might just be something for the morning. They could come back. We've seen a lot of these do that. So it's, if you're still trading throughout the day, you can just kind of put them off to the side and keep an eye on them and see if they start to turn around. Because we've seen a lot of these names, they trade okay in the morning and they just look like crap throughout the rest of the morning. And then sometime in the afternoon, they just go for a run. So always worth keeping an eye on those if you're looking for a trade.
Box L, this hit its VWAP earlier, came back to the 65 EMA. We'll see if that takes the VWAP out going forward here. Oh, the school started 3 days ago, started this Monday. Damn. Yeah.
Look at Socket Mobile today.
Is that SCKT?
Mm-hmm.
One of the movers that we traded? MBIS. That was such a good one.
This back up near its pre-market high of 154. This thing dropped down to about, what is this, 130. Now it's putting in a 22-cent move, looking for 25 cents. It's still going up.
I think 155 is going to be your spot here. We're almost there. G-Man saying SPY is so lame today. I feel it, dude. It's like it won't move above its VWAP. It like tried and can't, and it just won't move above its VWAP. Tesla's still holding out near the low. Amazon dipped a little bit. Apple's still dipping.
Well, what are we waiting for now? What is this market waiting for now that CPI is out of the way?
PPI tomorrow.
All right.
I mean, that seems like the obvious answer. Maybe it's not the greatest one.
I guess we're holding our breath till tomorrow.
Yeah, Josh Kushner and Bob Iger just spent $12 billion on the Lakers.
Huh.
That's more business news. Lakers being sold for $12 billion. The Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. That is courtesy of Ramona Shelburne, who does great reporting for the Lakers.
So I guess I'm a little interested because I don't follow basketball, but I know that LeBron just left the Lakers. Was that kind of part of the deal?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think LeBron is just going after a place where he thinks he can win. The Philadelphia landing spot doesn't even seem that bad. I don't know. He's so connected to business there, though. I think you're asking a really good question. I would be shocked if he didn't have any idea that something like this was happening.
Either LeBron stays on and Lakers are worth $13 billion, or if he leaves and it's worth $12 billion, they get a discount.
JD says they're going to ruin the Lakers. We'll see how it shakes out there. Okay, 12 minutes till story trading. Don't forget, after story trading, we got the drift. Tony Batts on the drift today. That'll be cool. Be sure to stick around and check that out. I will automatically send you folks over there, by the way. SPY is trying to bounce here. Qs maybe also, question mark. We'll see.
Our chip's still doing good.
Let's take a look at SMH. You can also take a look at that heat map Emery talked about earlier. I can bring that up here in Pro.
Oh, man. AMD's chart looks like a pissed off cat.
Okay, I can't
when
wait.
The hair stands up.
I'm just picturing Buddy doing that. He does do that quite a bit.
You got to go on a daily to see what I'm talking about, but it just kind of looks like it's.
Okay, that's the Ridgeback. The Ridgeback with the spike there. Okay, I gotcha.
Now, I don't know what it means. I don't have anything, intelligent to say with regard to what a pissed off cat chart looks like. And
we don't have some crazy name for the formation, like Abandoned Baby and all the other nonsense?
The alley cat formation. I don't know. I think I would just, let's see what happens with AMD. I still have a long-term horizon on this. And with all the demand for compute, I don't think this is anywhere near being done. It does need to, have moments of where the price cools off because this thing was, it was higher, back in May. Now we're at a much more nominal RSI. So this could climb back up.
Bot was stopped out of Micron. So rough day for the bot. 0 for 4 here today. No bueno. Micron actually, this is trouble. This actually looked like this was going to go higher. Now testing VWAP. We'll see what happens here at VWAP. Got a little bit of a trend line intraday. No good for Ryan's bot today.
Yeah, alley cap formation. There you go. All right, we're getting a mention that RMCF is halted again. It's recaptured VWAP, trying to get back over the trend line. Like I said, I don't know that these are done for the day. They could certainly come back. Maybe this one comes back a little bit sooner, but No position in either one of these.
Ryan, did the bot trade CoreWeave? No, I believe the bot was not on CoreWeave today. Nope.
Let's see what else is looking good here. We're finally getting the turnaround in Bitcoin. Looks like we got close to the lows from earlier this morning. 63 and a half.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we bounced this morning too. So certainly there's some buyers hanging out there. If this does give us a lift to where we're getting back above 64, I think that's 63 and a half is certainly an area we need to keep an eye on.
Now, are any of the Bitcoin connected stocks running with this riot? We already took a look at. That's no bueno. What are some? Hut, I think, is another one that you folks bring up. Mara, I think, is another. All of these charts look the same. I don't think any of these stocks are moving with this.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's anything to play on the Bitcoin move.
Well, it kind of would be interesting to see like how much Bitcoin all these companies still have, because we've been starting to see them unload their Bitcoin holdings, sometimes at a loss, in order to raise capital. So just kind of wondering if we're seeing reductions in their positions.
Yeah, and then here, Father Lion. I wonder if that's a name based off our line. Anyway, here, Father Lion says all the miners are flipping to AI. And indeed, that's actually what we saw in the riot report, right? They're moving over to the whole data center angle of that as opposed to the Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, I don't know how great Bitcoin's going to be. I've got this whole thought on, when we do get our next halving, that Bitcoin is just going to be not worth mining anymore. The cost of mining. Would we see
that was also in the riot report here, 13. Let me pull that stat for you.
I don't remember the exact amount, but I think it was like the monthly electricity cost was like $49,000 or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Here it is. The mining business remains, or the earnings driver. This is on Riot. The mining business remains the earning driver for now, and its economics softened. Bitcoin mining revenue fell 19% year over year to 113.7 million, while cash cost per Bitcoin increased to $49,912. That combination compresses mining contribution margins unless Bitcoin pricing rises enough to compensate. So what it's telling you here is that it costs about $50K to mine a Bitcoin. Bitcoin's only worth $63K. So until that changes, you're still dealing with some of these unit economic numbers.
Yeah. So I think that there's going to be a point where no one's going to want to mine Bitcoin anymore, and everybody's just going to move over to Ethereum because it's a completely different structure. You've got proof of work versus proof of stake. Yeah, and I don't think there's a better company out there that's accumulating Ethereum other than Bitmine.
BMNR.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they're getting paid from Ethereum too. UAMI getting to the lows. Oh, great mention. I haven't looked at UAMI in a while, and that's when we should probably be looking at with the rare earths and minerals. I want to say conflict coming up because we have President Xi supposed to be visiting the United States next month, and I think that's still could be considered tentative. I don't think that's a confirmed visit. And if tensions flare up between our country and that country again, then rare earths are back on the table. I think they're back on the table anyway because the truce expires in October. Great mention. I think UAMI's worth keeping an eye on. Obviously, this earnings report they got here not great, but I think that provides us some opportunities.
Yeah. All right, 13. Before I move over here to story trading, I'm going to step away for just 1 sec, if that's all right. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. That's kind of, yeah. Okay. Thanks. I that's kind of where I'm at with Ethereum and in particular, Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think it will see a bottom by the time the midterms are over. I think that we'll start to see it trade better and it'll come back up. But the next rally that Bitcoin has, I'm leaning into the idea that it could be its last rally. It might go right back up to the all-time highs it had, but I expect that'll happen sometime around or maybe after the next halving. And then once it's realized, man, we can't really make up, our margins with Bitcoin mining aren't great. The electricity cost is too high. I think you'll see just a lot of companies just abandon it. That's just my thought, though. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I see. October is going to be interesting. I agree. I think September and October. The rest of the year, actually, there's a lot of things that are coming up with all over the world geopolitically that could impact financial markets. In particular, with the Ukraine-Russia war, there is a real chance Ukraine may get the upper hand in that conflict this winter, as Russia's food supplies are seriously low. They have fuel shortages, and if they and they're harvesting late, so that might mean that they don't have the ability to distribute enough food to their population. There could be some significant unrest in Russia going into this winter. You think Ethereum's going to be the winner in crypto? It could very well be. It could very well be. Okay, what's looking good right now? I think the market's kind of weak still.
Well, actually, the SPY right now is starting to curl here. We actually have the S&P futures, this candle right now moving through the VWAP there, this 15-minute candle. We also have the SPY recapturing the VWAP here, so that's looking pretty good. The Qs also look similar. So here's what the NASDAQ looks like. This also looks like it might be trying to move to the upside. We had to mention that the Dow went red earlier, pretty much went to unchanged. It is, and then went lower. It is actually back in the green here too. So we'll see. Market is feels like it's trying to firm up. See if it's able to do that here.
And let's see what happens at 773.41, that previous all-time high, the one just before the current all-time high.
Okay.
If you look at the chart, the 5-minute chart for the SPY, you can see that since the open, the volume has just been fading. Yeah. And I think we're going to need more volume if we're going to recapture some of these highs. Maybe we see a melt up. I don't want to lean on that. I really don't know, but it looks to me like we're going to need more volume if we're going to get back up to some of these other levels, especially over that previous all-time high.
Okay, we'll see if we get those. Let's we're out of time here, 13 or just about. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move over to story trading. Let me get this out of the way here. Do you have any closing words for the group here before we move to story trading?
Hey, folks, if it's not looking like today's going to really produce great results for trading, I'm just going to sit on my hands. Tomorrow's a whole other day. The market will be open. We'll all be back here. We'll all have a great time. But things don't work out great today, and trades aren't working out. Maybe it's today's not the day. So refresh, reset, come back here tomorrow. Be another good trading day, and I'll see you then.
Yeah, bye. Let's see how it finishes up today with the CPI. Yeah. Remember, we've got the PPI tomorrow, so we'll see if that changes things for us. Good stuff here, 13. We'll see you on Happy Hour and again tomorrow. We are going to go to the story trading folks here now. Let me bring on Ben. Let me bring on Dougie Fresh. Ben, I know you're a minute early here. I figured you probably wouldn't be too upset with that, but welcome. How's it going, guys?
Going okay. What's up, Brian? How you doing?
How are you? Doing all right here. Doing all right here today. Was actually hoping for more of a risk-on, better day, but it's still early, so we'll see if we get that in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting it. I guess it's I hear feedback. Why do I hear feedback?
Yeah, who's echoing?
I just changed my mic, and I guess that was me. So let me change it back. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, that's better.
That better?
No, I'm echoing. Is that me?
I don't know.
No, we're gonna test. No, dude, say something, Ben.
Yeah, hello.
No, that's 100% Dougie Fresh. You're gonna have to work on that.
All right, let me go change back to the other studio.
You need headphones, bro. Yeah, you need headphones. That's what this is.
I'll be back.
Dougie Fresh on when he is ready to roll here. All right, Ben. Sorry about that. What do you got?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It feels like a risk-on day. The stuff I'm in, doing okay. The risk assets, gold and lunar are with the top two plays I've been focused on for risk-on with a light CPI. Gold and Lunar have been like the top 2 picks in my community like 4 or 5 days straight, and I think they have much more room to go here to that 200 DMA in both cases. So that's mostly those are my largest positions, and then NBIS as well, doing okay over here. Low pulling back now.
Yep.
But the breadth, yeah, I guess it could be better. It's not as good as everyone would like, I guess.
No, it's not. And actually, we just got a pull there in the SPY.
Oh wow! Whoa, we got to check oil. Is that
Yeah,
Iran related?
actually,
Could
oil
be
is
could be
even.
Iran related. Something happened with oil and the indices right now.
I don't see oil moving very much. I just saw the SPY pull a little bit there. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on. And we still don't have Dougie Fresh back. Yeah, I don't see any news attributing for this.
No, I don't know. Right back though. IWM right back. Big volume though. Yeah.
What on earth was that? We are still trying to figure it out. Yeah, big volume. It came right back though, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Is Rhett not here?
I don't. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm just a little slow here today. Here's Rhett. Rhett, how you doing?
Oh
Pretty
wow,
good. So, guys,
Rhett's on vacation.
no, I'm in the backyard. The umbrella just fell on me. It said Trump, USA has a total control over the Strait of Hormuz and will keep it. That's the headlines that are breaking out just now that I'm seeing that's causing this
Causing the move down here. Okay. All right. Here's Dougie Fresh. He's back. Dougie Fresh, can we get a volume mic check, please?
Yeah, let's make sure that.
Oh, dude, it sounds way better now. Okay, I'm gonna get out of your hair. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Guess the other studio didn't like this setup. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Works on the Discord and all, but
Okay, so I mean, look, I'm risk on mode. I went to a green signal even before the CPI because I thought the CPI was going to come in at least not hot. I thought it would come in light, but I put in the macro that we're going to go green as long as it's in line or light. And most of our trades are working. Gold and Lunar, the top 2 focuses, and then NBIS as well. We jumped on that bandwagon a little bit.
yeah, that was a great trade.
So most of that's working. There's a couple other things not working as well. We have Cerberus this morning, but those are like the top focuses that I've had most of the size on today. Has been Gold, Lunar, NBIS. Cerberus is tonight. Lost a little bit of money on Velo. That gave it up. I gave up on Hertz, Dougie. So I lost money on Hertz.
That looks like a disaster.
And I don't want to talk about BW. And QMCO was great. I ended up selling on the pullback, but I was in it from like 18 yesterday, so I made good money on that. And I've been shorting UAMY. Oh, by the way, I reshorted it. I don't know if I should have. Probably maybe overstaying my welcome over there. But
Maybe.
yeah. So overall, okay day today after I got absolutely destroyed with BW yesterday. It was crazy. Made a ton of money and then just didn't sell enough and it just collapsed. That was very sad. So let's just look at some of these charts here. I mean, gold really looks like it's going to want to tag the 200. A little pullback here, but all the pullbacks have been bought for the past week, right? If I had any balls, I'd buy more gold calls right here, but I don't really have too many balls here. Anyway, I keep my size small and it is what it is. I don't like going big size.
They're pulling back right here.
I also got some Q calls this morning. Look, gold, everything pulling back. Let me just check oil again.
Just flipping through my
A
list.
little bit volatile.
Nvidia's up today.
And we have Home Depot selling off with the CEO having to step down, so down 3% now.
Oh wow, it's still
Still
heading back lower.
Heading back lower, yeah.
Wow, 20 DMA maybe 341 in play. Yeah. So wow, just gave up a lot on gold. I'm heavy on gold and lunar. So I actually NBAS also. Hold on. I'm up on NBAS today, but my latest entry I'm down on. I'm wondering if I should just call it a day on NBAS. the indices pulling the way it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of chop going on right now. Anyway, that Nebius was trying to run up there, a little bit of pullback. We'll see if they can get fired back up again, but definitely seeing some pullback here.
Yeah, you know what? I might call it a day on Nebia because we're looking for 237, right? We got to 236. Maybe we're being too greedy.
For what?
We had a 237 target. It
I
got to
already put 'em all out.
236.
I'm all out.
Oh, you're all out.
Yeah, I said it in the chat in all caps. You didn't see that?
No.
I said it's close enough to our
237.
target. I'm all
Oh
out.
shit! I should have
At
bailed when you did.
10:16.
I always wait too close to my targets, man. All right, I'm out. Shit. All right, whatever. I still made money on it today.
Yeah, I mean that was an
SMCI curling back up. I'm not in it anymore. I also had a nice trade in that last night and this morning.
Tesla selling off hard. Solid way to kick off trading day. Fresh.
Lunar's just looking spectacular. They report tomorrow morning, I believe, and this thing looks like it wants to tag the 200 DMA either before or after earnings. I'm in big on that. All right, let's talk about JFB, and then we'll cover whatever. Before I do JFB, let's go through the catalyst list from this morning. So the Home Depot, UIMY, just terrible, like cut guidance in half, revenue.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know QNT well, but man, they had so many upgrades this morning. Big upgrades, $90, $100. Oh, this is Quantinium. This is that new Quantum IPO. And wow, why didn't I play that after they got all those upgrades this morning? Look at that. Look at QNT just ripping right now. Wow. And there is QMCO, 2450. I got a 2450 target. 2450 target on QMCO, but I sold, pocketed my gains, and I'm probably going to regret it. Let me put these both in my main watch list.
You know, it'd be an interesting one. Look to see here a break and retest, and then continuation back to the upside for MBIS around this breakout level of 230.30.
Hold on, I want to
maybe interested again.
I need to delete something because I want to add Quantinium to my main list. PRSO, I don't need that PRSO. All right.
SMCI curling back here. Are you still in that?
No, I'm out of that.
Wow, look at NVIDIA just ripping today to the upside.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Up almost 3.5%. New high a day just there.
Really?
Yep.
All right. Did the Qs help me there? Yeah, it's pulling the Qs
Muse
up
got to make a high. Muse curling up, making a U shape.
Man, I wish I could just day trade DRAM and all the other ETFs. Unfortunately, I can't at Fidelity. All right, let's go back to this. Look at this. Look at this. 2450. Why do you guys make me get out? It's going to 2450. Look at it. It's going to my target. I got a 2450 target.
Wow, holy cow.
Yeah, I just started ripping right back up there.
I bailed early. Going to 2450.
Unless it gets rejected right here.
It's going to 2450, I'm telling you. Maybe not today, but it's going there. Before I die, it's going to 2450.
Talk about something real quick.
What?
So Zeta, talked about this a few times on the show, I think. My first target, long-term target of $30, almost came today. Didn't take any profits off. Curling back up here. Kind of looks like it formed a bottom. But for those of you that don't know Zeta, it just pretty much uses AI to help businesses find, engage, and retain customers through like personalized marketing. So like marketing, pretty much like that's Palantir. Think of it in that aspect. Pretty good valuation long-term. 40 to 50.
Yeah, you've been all over this. I never did my research on Zeta.
It's a great long-term hold, but I would never buy at these levels here. I'd only buy in the low 20s.
Okay.
So sell profit, take profits, and look for dips.
I did borrow your conviction on that in my long-term account. I got in at 23.89. So thank you for that. Up nicely on that in my long-term account.
Nice.
So did I add Quantinium to the main list? Yes, I did. Okay. Big up. I think maybe the IPO lockup period or quiet period ended. That's why we got all those upgrades from the analysts this morning. But I think they all had earnings last night. Anyway, I want to talk about JFB, but before that, let me just go through this morning catalyst list and see if there's anything else noteworthy. Oh, Velo's popping here. Ooh, Velo had a great report. I still don't love their margins, but the revenue was a blowout and highly shorted.
Yeah, it's trying to move back up after that dip this morning.
Do I want to try it here? At the VWAP, getting rejected. Daily chart, 50 DMA 1587. It's below the 50. I got some FOMO here. Is it going to break above? There it goes. I think it's going. They got some nice, also some nice analyst price targets after the earnings report. All right, I'm chasing it.
Chasing it?
Yeah, small size. No, I'll just common share small size.
And
Chasing
below?
it above my VWAP. Yeah, that's nice level here. Let's see if we can get to 16. Hold on, let me put a sell order in.
Stuff going on.
Look at Rhett out in the trees out there.
Out
today.
back, man.
Is that really your backyard?
Yeah.
Look at these
Nice.
bids coming in.
Yep. See the fence.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
yeah, real background.
All right, let's talk about JFB here. This is
Let's do it.
interesting. JFB, super interesting.
Construction company.
This
here,
is
real estate.
it's a construction company, which is now going to be a drone company. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, AI drones. Is this showing here? Okay, check this
Yep.
out. They're doing a reverse merger with this company. AI powered platforms for mission critical operations. And I'll get to this is already exciting, but I'll get into the more exciting parts in just a second. Look at their news feed here. They've had a lot of things going on. A lot of big contracts are winning. Here's a $12 million order, $3 million order, $9 million order. Okay. Advances, qualification, and 1 billion US drone dominance program. So a lot of great things happening. And guess what? This company, JFB, is backed by none other than Eric Trump and UMAC. All right. Eric Trump and UMAC. And look how low this chart is. That reverse merger was announced over here at like February 12th, 13th. I guess there was a pump into it. People knew it was coming, and then it sold off when it happened. So February 17th.
Surprise.
Yeah. Or it's probably announced on the weekend after February 13th, something like that. So anyway, so this is when that deal, Eric Trump, UMAC said, hey, we're reverse merging with this AI drone company. And then we had a big catalyst last night. That catalyst was S4 statement effective, which means the merger is going to go through by the company saying September 1st, 2.5 weeks from now. Ticker symbol changing to XTND, I believe it is. Don't take my word for the ticker symbol, though. I forgot exactly what the ticker symbol change is. But in any
XTND,
case,
you're right.
it is. Okay, there it is. Okay, so there it is. S4 effective September 1st. You can see it there in the newsfeed.
And Ben,
So-
just a quick question too. I know we were talking about like the Israeli drones and stuff and how they have the wires. I believe they're the same
Right.
things, so they can't get attacked by jammers and all that other stuff.
Oh, this
Correct?
is what this is? I don't know. I didn't
believe
even
so.
look
I
into
think I saw a wire on one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so let's see, because that would be huge, because that's what a lot of the market is looking for those.
The
I don't
extender.
know
It must be. Oh, it must be called extender. Oh, this is so Ukrainians created this actually, and I guess they're copying them. Let me see.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? I forgot what that little cable's called. And
Yeah, it's like an Ethernet cable.
Yeah.
So that they don't get GPS jammed. It's crazy.
Yeah, so they can't jam them up.
Yeah. It's a wire like the thickness of a human hair. So Ukrainians created this because the Russians were jamming them, and so they have like a little ball of wire in their hand that's expendable that goes with the FPV drone with the goggles, and then they fly really low. They probably fly really low, and they just like it goes like 20. It's like 20 miles of wire in the palm of your hand, thin as a human hair. This way they avoid all of the jammers. And then it's FPV. They fly low. All right, it's a wire. They fly low, and they're going like in between buildings with their goggles on, whatever, and boom, right. So this is Ukrainians created that technology. I don't know if this is what Extender is, but just explaining what you're talking about, Rhett. And then, so then Israel saw that the Hezbollah started copying the Ukrainians, and they were attacking Israel with those kind of drones. And they're very, very hard to defend against. And there really is no great solution. You got to like shoot them down with machine guns and shit, right? So,
Machine gun Kelly. Them.
so so I heard that Israel's developing a solution for. Look at this Quantinium. Holy crap, 18%. So yeah, they're developing a counter drone solution to that based on laser technology that's shot from the air from drones that are always hovering in the sky, and then the lasers would shoot down because you can't use a ground-based laser because they fly low, right? You don't have the right angle. So it's crazy stuff. But I don't know if that company has anything to do with it, but in any case, that's JFB. I added it yesterday to my drone list. All right, you can see here. Here's our drone list, JFB. So yeah, my thesis. What's that?
UMAC is ripping today, up almost 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're probably going to get a government
Up
award.
over 11%.
Yeah,
look at
I
that.
actually sold all my UMAC after this earnings report. I didn't like the report, but I think they're getting a big government contract soon or something. And AVEX reports tonight, but in any case, the play here is very simple. It works. It's worked for me pretty much almost all the time with SPACs. It's not a SPAC, but it's the same mechanism, right, with a reverse merger. So this is going to be in play for the next 2.5 weeks. There's usually a run up into the vote and the ticker symbol change. In this case, I don't know. Is there going to be do they need a vote in this case? It's not SPAC. I don't know if it was already voted or agreed to. I'm not sure. But anyway, the closing is set to be on or about September 1st, 2.5 weeks from now. Ticker symbol change. And usually this thing just runs into that ticker symbol change, the peak being the day before the morning of. I'm not going to hold it throughout the whole time. I'm actively trading this thing. But my target is 675. Call it maybe 670 right there. You can see the double top on the candles around 670. Or maybe it breaks that and heads to the 200 DMA, or maybe that 200 DMA comes down and meets 670. To me, that's a low-hanging fruit, low-risk, high-reward trade setup here on JFB, new stock for me and for everyone. I just learned all about this last night. I saw the S4 effectiveness statement come out being like JFB Construction Holdings to merge with AI drone company. I'm like, what? Really? I found all of that last night. So pretty interesting.
Awesome. We got that break and retest for MBI.
I saw it on Benzinga, by the way. I was watching Benzinga news flow. Hopefully I'll make a lot of money on this one. It'll be all thanks to the Benzinga Pro newsfeed.
There you go. Beautiful break and retest for MBIS here. We're clearly going to probably go to 237.
Oh wow! And look at Quantinium too. Look at Quantinium. I'm out of NBIS. Are you going to buy back NBIS?
Not here. I made good money today. If I were, I missed that one candle, that first green candle, that after one. Right after that on the 5-minute, that's where I would have looked to get in. So I missed my nice entry at 232.80.
Look at Lunar, baby.
Yeah, Lunar was nice. That was a beauty.
Should I try it again? I have some profits to work with on NBIS. Man, I can't believe I didn't try Quantinium. 19. I'm not going to chase it here at 19%. But man, it looks like
in a bid for Wendy's.
For what?
Wendy's.
Wendy's WEN.
Oh, that's like a total pump.
Of course.
That's like a Reddit pump or something. Look at that.
Look at that minute can. Oh,
holy crap! Wait, that. Wait.
769,
That had to be news. That can't be.
That's nobody.
No, it's coming out just now.
What is it? They just won the best burger of the world. What the heck?
I see nothing on Benzinga yet.
Hold on, it just hit my wire. It says investors Nelson Peltz prepares bid for U.S. burger chain Wendy's WEN.
Oh wow! So Reddit was right about this.
Yep.
Holy shit! How the hell did Reddit know? Oh my gosh! Oh, that's crazy. I thought that was just a pure BS pump. I guess I knew something. Wow.
Wendy's halted and market dropping. Sorry, guys.
What?
Yeah, Qs are dipping down.
Wendy's halted and market dropping? Are those two things related?
I don't think
And
so.
no, USO popping. Sorry.
Oh,
I
USO,
was the,
USO popping?
Wow, look at that minute candle on Wendy's.
Uh,
Holy cow.
a little bit, not much.
Do we know? Do we know what price the bid is at?
I have no idea. I got this thing coming near me.
Citigroup has a $8 price target. I'll say 50.
Wow, this thing, they are going to run Wendy's today, guys.
Well,
That's
it
what
depends
they were
how much.
Mm,
We got to
looks
find
like
that. It must be a Bloomberg article. We got to find out what the bid is.
Let me look online.
Appears to look better than Hertz right now.
Yeah, I took the loss on that, sadly. Qs are dumping. Gold is dumping. That's not good. I'm long Qs and gold. I'll need Lunar to save the day for me. But here it is. Nelson Peltz. Okay, Financial Times.
Financial Times, yeah.
You just got it. Benzinga just put it out. Oh, but I don't have a subscription to Financial Times, and it's behind the paywall.
I'm trying to see online if someone put it there. I'm not seeing anything.
Paris bid for U.S. burger chain. Can Benzinga find out? Do they have a subscription to Financial Times? It must be on Bloomberg. Like, let's look at the details of that story. See if we know, get an idea of how much Nelson Peltz wants to bid for this.
How much are they willing to buy Wendy's for? Good. I hope they can buy it and fix the one near my house, because you go in there and it's like a disaster every time. There's like 2 people that work there. It's a dump and nobody knows what's going on. You might as well just go back and make your own food. You feel bad because it's like 2 kids that are like 16 years old. They don't have no idea what's going on. And there's like no manager or anybody. Like, you're like, who's the manager? They're like the 17-year-old kid. You're like, wow, this is crazy. This is incredible. Kid's got a great job for 17.
I gotta make room for Wendy's. I'm deleting NRXS. I don't even know what the hell that is. So let's go to Catalyst, Wendy's. But I mean, that happened fast. There's usually more than one candle on.
Yeah,
this,
I think
this
people knew
happens.
about that, huh?
That happened fast. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. And then, you know what's crazy? You see this where it's not halted yet, but it's about to halt. You can still trade during this time period. I've done it many times and I've made good money, but it lasts only a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 seconds. So this happens too fast.
So they already own 16% of Wendy's.
Okay.
So I'm trying to see.
I don't think I'm going to chase this unless there's a number, unless it's like.
Sorry, guys. The long guy's here cutting the grass.
Oh, man. Perfect timing. Whenever you're doing a show, that's when the lawn guys show up. I was out in the
shit,
shed
that velo I
yesterday,
got in velo's not working.
and the guys came to do all the neighbors, and I was like, great. Or Monday.
Yeah. NBA's in back down.
Oh, we're open. 849,
back
850,
on.
838. I have no idea what price is thinking of buying it, so I can't.
I'm not going to face it.
I'm not doing
Me
it
either. But it could be an interesting. It has a lot of resistance right where it hit. I could see it pulling back right here as it just did. I mean, I was saying that and it was starting to, but it's going to bounce around. But I'd be careful with that bad boy.
I'm not doing anything.
Wow, the IWM just took a hit.
Oh, not good. I don't really have any hedge on today anymore. I'm long gold and Qs and a bunch of risk assets with no hedge.
The only thing I have left is a few Lotto Lunar calls, and that's about it.
Some Lotto Lunars.
Ooh, that's not looking good. The Q's been chopping around.
Yeah, big time.
You
Lots
make
of
a new
chop.
low a day here?
Yeah. They're trying
Doesn't
to.
look good.
Well, it spiked down pretty good at like 10:31. It came
All
all
right,
the
you
way
know what?
down to 7:23.
Maybe time for me to bail on some things. That Velo trade
723.27.
didn't work.
IWM. Oof, IWM looks worse.
Oh wait. Oh right.
Yeah, IWM looks like it wants to dip.
Yeah.
Zeta actually looking good, like it wants to curl to the upside here. That's funny. Mason said, "My local Wendy's is saying it's open. Not sure why everyone's saying it's halted."
I just got a Frosty. It's dipping down here, that's for sure.
AOI is looking nice. Someone's saying, let's look at AOI.
You can go in there and let the employees know they're about to get bought out, and none of them will have a clue if you go tell them.
That was like I went to Jersey
Well,
Mike's the day it IPO'd. They had no idea their company was going public.
It's so great when that happens. I told the people at Bed Bath & Beyond that they just went out of business. They just went bankrupt. They had no clue. The manager, nobody knew at the store. They were looking at me like I had 10 heads. The manager went back and looked at her email. She's like, "Yeah, you're right. We are out of business."
Oh my gosh.
Dougie broke the news for him. Ooh.
Yeah, I walked in on like a Saturday morning. I think it broke on like Friday. They had no clue.
Home Depot is actually below the 200-day moving average now.
Really? Kept on going, huh?
Yeah, it's getting slaughtered there. Yeah, and now that the CEO left, or has to step down.
Temporary, yeah.
Yeah, he has to step down for a medical emergency. Can they get rid of like all the stuff that they just changed at Home Depot? It's got to be like the worst store to go shop at. I'm
Really?
not kidding. It's
What'd they
so
do?
bad. They have zero, like they have like now it's all self checkout, and then they have like literally they'll put 4 employees standing in the front of the store to direct you where to go. Just make them cashiers. It's way easier, I promise you. Nobody knows how to use the stupid machines.
And then it's all cashless, and then you gotta type in your whatever it is.
Really?
It's a nightmare.
PO or whatever. Then you just type a random letter, then hit next. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's the craziest setup ever. It's terrible. I'm telling you, they just made it a disaster. You have to go down to like the pro desk where the contractors go out because they actually have real people down there because contractors won't deal with it. But yeah, they'll lose their minds. But yeah, it's just the worst store ever. So yeah, now that the CEO has to step down for a leave of sickness, can you guys change that back to like what it used to be? I mean, why put 4 employees in the front? I'll videotape it. It's every single time. They have 4 people. And they're like, here, you can go this one, you can go there. They ask you cash or card, and then you got to wait if you're cash because they have like 2 registers for that and everything.
Ours are all broken right now. You only have it's all cashless.
Well, that was the next thing I was gonna say. 5 of them are always down. It's like they're always broke. I'm like, holy cow! Just put these people back at a cash register and pay them their money, whatever they need. It's worth it.
Yeah, I will say though, I think the people at Home Depot are more knowledgeable knowing where stuff is than the people at Lowe's.
You can't even find anyone at Lowe's. They like disappear. They don't even employ anyone.
Find something, they're gone.
Yeah, they don't even know. You're like, can you get me something out of electrical? They're like, I'll go get the electrical person. You're waiting like a half hour. You're like, where'd the electrical person go? Like, are they like at home? Do we have to call them in?
They went on break.
I guess you can tell from my silence that I do no handyman work.
You do not go to construction store.
I do nothing. If there's a problem in the house, I either call a handyman or a contractor or have my wife do it.
Your wife knows what we're talking about. She can hop on, jump in the conversation.
Oh, I don't even pick up a hammer.
I had one in my hand this morning, Ben. I was knocking nails down.
That is too funny.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I don't have time. I'm in my Discord all the time, and I'm in the Google Docs right in the morning. No, I don't have time for that shit.
It's good for you though to get out there and do that. It clears your mind.
Yeah, see, everyone is this guy that's an electrician. He chooses Home Depot over Lowe's, besides for the higher end lighting.
You know, it's funny though. Like if you're putting stuff in your house, like actual fixtures and stuff, Lowe's seems to have nicer things, Home Depot straight contractor style. Lowe's seems to like tend towards like people, like residential. But other than that, I mean, it's just terrible. It's a terrible experience to go in both of them anymore. I'm not gonna lie. So Ben, you're lucky you don't even deal with it. And the IWM is just coming down pretty hard right there.
Oh
so.
boy.
By the way, I completely agree with that last sentiment there. I feel like the stuff you get at Lowe's is just slightly higher quality than the stuff at Home Depot.
I agree. Yeah, it's very odd, but it is. Like if you need to go get like a ceiling fan for your house and you want one that looks nice, you're not going to Home Depot. You're gonna come out. Even their most expensive one looks like garbage. At least at Lowe's, like you have a pretty good selection. What's that?
The white fans from like the 80s.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, what are they doing over here? Why can't they give me a good selection? But again, contractors go in there, they're all flipping homes, and they just put the cheapest shit in whatever they can put in. So
margins,
they don't really
baby,
care.
Margins. That's what they're trying to do. How'd you guys do today?
Pretty good.
Doing okay. Did he find out what's going on with Wendy's? What price?
I did not. I did see it spike, but no. Let me see if I have anything else here.
It's spiking back up right now.
Back up towards the highs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Looks like
so. Yeah, you put
Nelson
that
Peltz is preparing a bid for Wendy's. Said to be bidding. That's per the Financial Times. I don't have any indication.
Oh wait, it got unlocked. It was locked before. Now it's unlocked. That's weird. Laying the groundwork for to take private bid from a consortium of investors, take private bid in the coming weeks. It says the people said the timeline could still shift and the offer may not materialize. There's a 16% shareholder. So coming weeks, and I don't see a valuation that he may be willing to pay. So all we know is timing of coming weeks, and he owns 16% already, curling back towards the highs.
Okay.
Look at that new high.
And there it goes.
Good stuff there. Good stuff there on Wendy's. All right, guys, good stuff here today. Have a good one. We'll catch you next week. All right.
All right.
That's good. Take care, Ryan.
Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Ben, Rhett, and Dougie Fresh. So glad we got your mic fixed, Dougie Fresh. Oh, man, that would have been brutal. Glad we were able to get that fixed. Folks, we're done here for today. The drift is next. I'm going to send you over there right now. Otherwise, we will catch you back here tomorrow. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.